I believe. Let's go live on TikTok real quick. Hold on. Let's see. Hold on. If you're just hopping on right now, make sure you guys are double tapping the screen. I'm just making sure we have the multi-chat function working. I actually have not looked at the Epstein files yet. I just saw on Twitter that they've been released, although very heavily redacted, right? I think I saw that like 90% of the Epstein files that they released are redacted. We can go through Twitter and see, I guess, what people are talking about. I ideally want to get some debates as well, though. What's up, Katie? And the other mega redacted. Yeah, it seems like it. If you guys are hopping on, make sure you're double tapping the screen. I want to try to get some debates today, and that only works if we get MAGA people seeing the live as well. Okay. L Predictor. I see you in the guest requests. Did you want to debate one of the topics above me? Let me know and I can let you hop on. First or third, okay. Hold on, let's try again. Hey, how old are you?
I'm 25.
Okay, and you said first and third, so I guess we can get started in order. Do you disagree that Donald Trump is corrupt?
Yeah, I disagree
And why is that?
because I would have agreed with you 2 days ago when there was like a suspicious, I think it was a Hanukkah party, and then
What?
a gentleman. I said I'll be quick. I won't yap. It was a party 2 days ago, like a Hanukkah party, and this is proof he's not corrupt. A gentleman raised his hand and said, our first Jewish president. Trump is a Jew. He's a Jew president twice, and Trump said it's true, it's true. And I'm like, wait, did he just lie? But then someone explained to me that this is proof he's not corrupt. He actually is for the Jewish people and for
I
Catholics,
just
and
don't understand what even Jewish people have to do with this subject.
well, a man raised Trump's hand and said he's a Jewish president, and
Okay,
Trump said it's true. That's not true. That's a lie. Then
okay,
I had
that's just
someone
not
explain to me
about
why he would agree to that.
the prompt we're debating is Trump is corrupt. I don't know why this is relevant to that.
because because for him to say it's true, even though it's not, that just proves he's not corrupt. He's for a lot of the people. He's America first.
What would that have to do with whether or not he's corrupt? The words that he said in that specific context me prove he's not
Because it's
corrupt.
not
What about
because it's
the profiteering to the tunes of billions of dollars in some cases for his family businesses, using the power of the presidency, selling pardons to people? What about that?
presidents do that all the time
No, they
with
don't. Which other president sold a pardon for $2 billion?
I don't know about that, but Joe
Because
Biden
I'll give you an answer. The
pardoned his
answer is
son.
none.
But Joe Biden pardoned his son. He used his
He was right
powers.
to do that because he did it to protect him from Trump's political prosecutions, which Trump is now politically prosecuting people. So
What?
obviously, yeah,
Yes,
that
because
was the
he's
stated
guilty.
intention.
That's but he's not innocent. Why are you acting
What
like
is
Trump?
Hunter Biden guilty of?
Lots of bad things. The laptop, the illegal substance,
That's not even what that court case is
and the
about.
relationship with Russia, and also his comments on USA and El Salvador.
That's your understanding that those were the charges against Hunter Biden?
No, I'm not. Wait, say that again.
You think that the charges against Hunter Biden were about the laptop and all this alleged corruption? You think
Well,
that's
no,
what he
but
is?
it could have been investigated
Wait,
further. That's what you
what was
just
Hunter
admitted.
Biden even convicted of? Do you know?
Not on the top of my head right now. I'm not gonna
Okay,
lie
so
to
then
you.
why do you have such strong opinions on this if you don't even know the basic facts of the
No,
cases?
what I'm saying to you is Joe Biden used his powers just like Trump is using his powers
Joe
for his
Biden did
family.
not sell pardons. Who did
Nepotism
he
is
sell
nothing new.
pardons to?
Not sell, but he
Okay,
pardoned.
okay, not sell exactly, but Trump is selling
Yeah.
pardons.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. I'm just
And
saying
that's
that
corrupt,
Joe
right?
Biden
To
did.
sell, hold on. What the fuck? Okay, can you just address the actual argument I'm making?
Yeah, I am. I am.
You're not, though.
Yes, I am. I'm saying to you
Wait,
that
do you agree that Donald Trump is selling pardons?
okay, I'm not gonna lie to you. I think I you got me there because I didn't know he was doing this like selling pardons and all that.
And you agree that that's uniquely corrupt, like no other president has done
Well,
something
I will
like
have to
that.
look into it, but if
If
how
what
you're
I'm saying
telling
is
me,
true.
yeah, then yes.
Okay.
But I mean, it's there's a reason why this is not being covered. You might be lying.
I'm not lying. I can tell you exactly what happened. This is just a matter of fact. He pardoned someone named CZ, who was a CEO of Binance. He was convicted of not having sufficient anti-money laundering protections for Binance because some of those funds were going towards T groups and other horrible things. And then Trump pardons him right after Binance does a deal in Trump's stablecoin, which no one ever really used before, to the tune of billions of dollars, which his family, I believe, earns from treasury yields on that $70 million annually. He's literally selling pardons. It's out in the open. And then when he was asked, hey, why did you pardon this guy that was convicted of like very serious money laundering charges? Trump just goes, "Are you ready? I don't know who he is. I just heard that it was a Biden witch hunt."
I just looked it up. There's no confirmed proof he sold pardons for money. I mean, it's suspicious, it's aggressive
No, no, no.
on how he
It's not
did
just
it.
okay. What is the possible other explanation for that?
Well, I mean, he's a businessman. I mean, he's a
No,
powerful
he's
man.
supposed to be the president.
What do
He's
you
not
mean?
supposed to be doing private business as the president. Isn't that a conflict of interest?
Well, that's why he won twice because we're not gonna have these politicians in office. We're gonna have a
He won
businessman who
twice
puts
because
America
people want him to
first.
be corrupt.
No, we put him twice because he puts America first.
You're literally saying he's a businessman. That would imply he's putting his own interests first, like his own private
No,
financial
he puts
interests.
America's business first. That's why he's doing
Then
the
why is
terrorism
he
stuff.
leveraging American government power to enrich himself?
Well, that's where it's debatable. I would
No,
say he's
it's not.
enriching the
It's not.
American
This is
people.
a matter of fact. It's not debatable.
Well, he benefits, yes, but
To the
lots of
tune of
people. It's
tens
a
of
good end
millions,
goal.
hundreds of millions, billions of dollars, really?
Like the January Sixers. I mean, that's a
That's
good
a
end
different
goal.
topic.
Well, he still pardoned those people.
Yeah, that was horrible. I mean, what you're getting at is that Trump is not only corrupt, he's also authoritarian, he's also unhinged, he's also cognitively declining, he's also incompetent. True, but right now we're talking about Trump's
No, those
corruption.
people. Okay. Well, I'm gonna
I'll
look
ask
more
you
into
again.
that.
Trump released a stablecoin called USD1, which had a market cap of like $100 billion. No one used that stablecoin until Binance started seeking a pardon for CZ, and then all of a sudden you have $2 billion deals being made with that stablecoin, which the treasury yields from that stablecoin, because it's treasury backed, are going to net the Trump administration and his family like 70, $80 million a year in profit.
Well, yeah, I'm gonna look into it because I'm seeing the article from the New Yorker, the meaning of Trump's
Are
presidential
you seeing the
pardons.
article also where he was asked, why did you pardon this
I'm gonna look
guy?
into it.
And his
Yeah, I'm gonna
response
look
was,
into
I
all of
don't know.
that.
Okay.
I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna look into
Okay,
all of
cool.
that.
Do you want to
But
debate the deportations then?
yeah, I took an L on that one. I'll debate
That's
you on the
fine.
third one.
Okay. Why are you in favor of Trump's mass deportations the way he's doing them right now?
Because at first I wasn't because of who he was targeting. He was just being lazy and copying the Democrat strategy.
What is the
But now that
Democrat
the
strategy?
just targeting and deporting Latinos,
How is that the Democrat strategy? That's just objectively not true.
what do you mean? Yes, it is. Both
No,
parties
you
do.
have it the other way around. Under Joe Biden, the
Hmm.
prioritization was public safety threats. Under Donald Trump, they're prioritizing a quota system of 3,000 detentions per day by ICE, right? So you have Trump just wanting to run up the numbers blindly, which is why you see in many cases U.S. citizens being detained, people that are
Right.
legal asylum seekers being detained. Under Biden, I mean, you can argue there was maybe isolated instances of abuse, but the actual ICE system was designed in that situation to at least prioritize public safety threats. And Stephen Miller explicitly told ICE, stop prioritizing criminals, just run up the numbers.
Okay, but when you say that, right, and you just tell me that's not true, Democrats do this. Can I tell you the perspective of a Latino voter? Because you lost
You
our vote.
sure you?
48% of
I
us
didn't
voted
lose.
Trump, right? No, the Democrats did, not
Right,
you,
and then
but the
Trump
Democrats
lost.
lost our.
Trump seems to be losing the Latino vote now. If you look at the special elections and the off-year
But the fact
elections.
that he made it a swing vote, I mean, if you hear the Latino perspective, that would have went a long way, and maybe you guys would have campaigned differently on this because what you
Sure,
just said to
this is
me,
just a
it's a
different
lie.
topic. And no, it's not a
So
lie.
no, it's not. So no, what I said to you is, whenever there's a Democrat president or a Republican president, the persons who get deported are Latinos. What you tell me is, well, I mean, if, Democrats were focused on safety.
Hold on.
Great,
Are
but
you
it
alleging that
shouldn't
Joe
have been only
Biden?
Latinos.
Are you alleging that Joe Biden told ICE to profile Latinos?
I wouldn't say they
Because the
told I
Trump
specifically,
administration
but he didn't. He was
explicitly
late. You're not letting me
Trump
respond.
administration explicitly told them to profile Latinos. They literally went all the way to the Supreme Court arguing that if someone is brown and speaking Spanish, we should be allowed to profile them. They explicitly argued to profile people. They say it
Yes,
out loud. You're
just like
inferring
those.
you're inferring that Biden and Obama were like secretly telling ICE go after the Latinos, but the actual
They
stats and
did.
the policy
It's
on the
so
books,
consistent. It's so similar.
the actual stats and the policy on the books says otherwise. And I'm not going to disagree. There's been abuses by ICE long before Trump, but the abuses by ICE now are systemic and intentional and explicit. They tell us on TV every single day. The numbers
I
just don't
agree
add
with
up.
you.
I'll give you an example. It's not even been
The
1 year
numbers
since
do add up.
it's not even been 1 year since Trump has come in for his second term, and already over 170 U.S. citizens have been detained by ICE. U.S. citizens detained by ICE. Many of them just because they had an accent that made them seem like they were foreign or ethnic or something, or they were brown or they were
Right.
speaking Spanish. You have testimony of ICE agents saying, you don't look like a Susie. You're coming with me. Even if they're screaming, I'm a citizen, I'm a citizen. For context, from 2015 all the way to 2020, there was only 121 cases of U.S.
Wow,
citizens
you're
being
really
detained.
scaring my people. Do you think Trump will beat Obama's record or no?
Of what?
What do you mean of what? Of people getting deported,
Like
specifically
volume wise?
Latinos? Yeah, because Obama has a record, right?
Sure.
For deporting the most
My
Latinos. So
complaint
do you think?
about
No,
my
no, 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 hold
complaint.
on, hold on.
You're
You gotta
changing
let
the
me talk, right?
subject.
No, I'm not. I'm not. I let you talk the whole time.
Okay, just
You're
don't
the
change
one
the
who.
subject.
I'm not,
I'm not talking
right?
about the amount of
I'm asking you.
deportations. You
The
know
way
that,
you
right?
make Trump sound right now, is Trump gonna break Obama's record? Because you're making
Why
Trump
are you
sound like the
changing the
scary man.
topic?
I'm not. I'm asking you a question. Because you're making Trump sound like this
The
scary
question
man
you're asking is a
who's
different topic.
inhumane. So is he gonna beat Obama's record or no?
The question you're asking is a different topic. I'm not talking about the number of
No, I'm not.
deportations.
I'm being consistent.
I'm not talking about the number of deportations. I'm talking about how they
I
do
am.
deportations and who they target.
Why don't you? Why don't you?
Okay, if you want to
Because
change the topic, we
that's how
can
us
change it
Latinos
after
see
you
it.
address. We can change the topic after you address this topic. You can't just run away.
What do you mean? You're the one who look. You didn't let me respond at first. Then you want me
No,
to
please.
address
I
something
want
that
you
you
to
pivoted
respond. I
completely.
want you to
I'll
respond.
address you, no problem.
Go ahead,
But you're the one
please.
who pivoted all the way. Tell
No,
me what
please
to address right
respond.
now. What do I address?
The way that the Trump administration is not focused on public safety, they're focused on running up
I
the
agree with
numbers.
you. It's a bit inhumane. I
A
agree
bit
with you,
is
but
an
we're calling him
understatement.
out on it. No, it is. No, no, because you guys didn't call out the Democrats when they did the same thing right now,
Plenty
right?
of you're lying again. Obama got
I'm
called out
not.
by so
What
many people
pages
to
is
his
Trump using
left.
right now? No, no. Is Trump using pages right now?
Is he using what?
Whose pages? Is Trump using pages right now?
Yes, and why are you changing the
Whose
topic?
whose pages were those? Whose cages were those
Why are
originally?
you changing the topic?
I'm not.
Here's the
Those were
difference.
Democrat cages. I'm calling out both
Democrat
parties.
cages?
Those were Obama's cages.
What? How does that make them Democrat cages? If DHS was doing things
Obama's not
under
a
Obama,
Democrat.
hold on.
What do you mean?
DHS, and hold on. You're just
Democrat
wrong.
didn't have
The
the House
left criticized
in 2008
Obama's
for 2009?
immigration policy. You can go to Google search and archive.
Now you're defending the cages.
No, I'm not. I'm saying Obama
You
was
are. You
rightly
have an excuse.
criticized. Obama was rightly criticized. This is what I'm
So
saying.
why don't you say the
You're
same as Trump
lying.
right now? Let Trump be rightly
You're
criticized.
just
right?
lying and saying no one criticized Obama for his immigration policy.
No,
Go to
but
Google.
criticize the same as
go
Trump.
go to Google. Set a search filter from like 2009 to 2017, Obama's term.
We do,
and
all the
look,
time.
And look up Obama faces criticism for ICE, and you will find
Yes, I
you
was
will
part of
find
those protests as a
lawsuits.
kid.
You will find lawsuits. You will find left wing media that criticized him for it. There was plenty of pushback
was part
from
of those
Obama's own
protests, buddy.
side.
I was part of those protests, buddy. Me and my
So
whole
then
family
you
in North
admit that you
Carolina.
lied when you said the Democrats didn't care when Obama did it. Which, first of
Yeah.
all, Obama
No, I
didn't do the
didn't.
same
I
thing.
never said that.
You literally did. Everyone can rewind
No, I
the
didn't.
VOD on YouTube and watch it.
Play the clip.
And both points are incorrect here because number one, Obama didn't do the same thing that Trump is doing, and number two, to the extent that the Obama administration was doing things that were an abuse of power, they were called out for it. But even then, it was a much lower degree than what Trump is doing, and it wasn't explicit the way Trump is doing it
just gotta
now.
No, what I'm trying to say is because you're just talking over me, to be honest with you. But I
I'm
don't
just
really
trying to
care.
keep you on the subject. I'll let you speak for
I
10 minutes if you
am.
just respond to what I'm actually saying instead of trying to run away from the topic.
I'm not running away from the topic. If anything, I'm being direct to you. I'm
Okay, then
calling out both
directly
parties.
respond.
Don't confuse
You're
me
doing
with
false
defending Trump.
equivalencies.
I'm calling out both parties.
You're doing
I'm an
false
ex-Democrat.
equivalencies.
That's why. No, I'm not.
You are. Do you think that what
Not at
Obama
all.
did is as
I'm
bad as
giving
what
you the
Trump did?
Latino perspective. I'm giving you the 48%
Well, hold on.
of Latinos who voted
Hold
Trump.
on. Number
I'm giving
one,
you the votes you lost.
I appreciate your perspective, but you don't speak for all Latino people.
No, you don't. Yes, I speak for. Yes, I do. I speak for a
You
majority
speak
of
for.
us.
I wouldn't claim to speak for all South Asian people. What are you talking about? You speak for all Latino people? Do you speak for the Latino
Is
people who voted for Trump in 2024 and then switched back to the
I
Democratic
speak for
Party
the
this year's
48%
elections?
of us. Yes, I speak for the low standard of Latinos. Yes, I'm the one who has the balls to actually call out the Democrats and actually have some balls to call out everyone. But these Democrats are scared.
No, you're
Look how
doing
you
the
just
enlightened
look how you
centrist
look how
thing
you
where you're
scare
like,
like
oh,
people.
you're
Look how
doing.
you made Trump sound. But then when I said Obama did the exact same
He
thing,
didn't.
you give him excuses. Yes, he did. Obama used the same pages, right? Obama has the world record for
I'm
deporting
not.
the most Latinos, but you're making excuses for both things right now.
Obama didn't do the
Did
same.
Obama do due process?
Obama didn't do the same thing. I brought up
Did
specific
Obama do
things.
due
You got to
process?
let me respond. Obama didn't
No,
do the same thing.
now you don't want
I
me to talk, right? I
specifically,
talk simple, bro.
because you're running. I specifically gave
I'm
you
not running, bro.
examples
I'm
of.
asking you
I
simple questions.
specifically gave you an example of things that only Trump has done that Obama never did, and you're not addressing that. There are certain
Name one.
things that
Name
only
one.
Trump has done.
Name one.
Arresting people for pro-Palestinian speech with DHS, immigrants, attacking their free speech rights. It was adjudicated in court. Mahmoud Khalil, Ramesa Ozturk.
Wait, let's not change the conversation.
No, that's ICE is
Why are you
doing that.
changing?
ICE is doing that.
Okay. So who is ICE targeting? You're saying? Let's look up the numbers on DHS right now.
Non-citizens.
No. Let's look up the numbers of
Address it.
Palestinians getting deported compared to Latinos. Let's look it up on DHS.gov. Who are you saying ICE is targeting or deporting right now?
You're not even addressing my
Let's
argument.
worry. No. You brought up Palestinian people who are, what did you say, freedom of speech and are getting targeted by ICE?
Yes, further freedom of
They
speech.
get-
Now you have to show
Okay,
me an
this is all-
example.
no, this is
Now
all
you
public
have to show
numbers,
me
right?
an
No,
example.
what do I look
Now
up?
you have to show me an
Numbers of
example.
Palestinians or who?
Now you have to show me an example of Barack Obama instructing ICE to censor someone else's free speech, and then we'll say
No.
it's the same thing.
No, I can give you numbers of how.
What do you
Obama
mean?
did it.
No, you
And
said they're
also,
doing the same thing. So
what do
then
you
show
mean,
me an
though?
equivalent example.
People weren't talking about Palestine in 2008, 2009.
I'm not saying
What are we
Palestine.
talking
I'm
about?
not.
That
Show
was
me
the
an
flavor of the
example.
month.
Show me an example of
People were hawking that
Obama's
trend back
ICE.
then.
Show me an example of Obama's ICE suppressing free speech. Doesn't matter what the subject is.
Not free speech. It's
Go.
different. Not free speech.
It is different. I agree. Obama didn't do
It's
that, and
not free
Trump did.
speech. Not free speech.
Okay, so
But we
there's an
talk about free
example.
speech.
Exactly. There's an example of something that only Trump did and Obama didn't do, right? Suppressing free speech with ICE, that's one example. No?
That is one example, but
Okay.
who cares about that?
So then you were
Like,
wrong.
what I'm
Who cares
speaking
about
of-
who cares about free speech? Are you
No,
serious?
this is where you're wrong. No. There. You just said I'm wrong. You see this as winning and losing. I want a good and go for
No,
Latinos.
no.
There.
It's not
there.
winning and
That's
losing.
where we're miscommunicating.
It's
Yeah, you
not
said I
winning and
lost.
losing. It's not winning and
You just
losing.
said
It's
it.
true and false.
I want
It's
to call
true.
out both parties, and
I
wanna
really don't wanna
be
have to mute
consistent
you.
for Latinos.
Bro, it's not
What do you
about
mean, mute
winning.
me?
It's about true and false. If you lie and make false equivalencies, I have to call those
You're
out.
acting like I'm disrespectful or something. Mute me.
No.
Now you're having a
You're
fake
just-
power trip.
You're just being dishonest and lying.
No, I'm not.
Yes, you are.
What lie have I said?
Can I actually
lie have I
answer?
said
Can I
about the
actually answer what
Democrat
your lie
Party?
is?
Yeah. What
Okay,
lie have I said
here's
about
the lie that
Democrats?
you said. You said Obama was just as bad as Trump on immigration, but no one called Obama out for it. They only call out Trump. I'm saying, number one, Obama was called out for the things he did wrong, and number two, Obama was nowhere near what Trump is doing right now. So you're wrong on both counts, and you're not addressing those arguments.
But no, this is where we're miscommunicating. We're agreeing there. We're agreeing there.
On what?
But why did Obama on that we called out Obama during those things?
And
right?
what's the second thing we're
I
agreeing
even
on?
told you.
Are we agreeing on the second thing? That Trump is way worse?
Yes, more inhumane. Yes,
That's my
but-
argument.
but no, but no,
Trump
but
is worse than
you need to
Obama.
no. It's a lot to unpack. For example,
Sure, let's unpack it.
Sure. For example, in the first term, build the wall. Mexico's going to pay for it. All these Latinos were laughing at that because we knew that's not true. What is happening in this term? And birthright citizenship is not. It's going to be over. We
No,
all
it's
know
not.
that's not going to be true. What do you mean?
Birthright citizenship is in the Constitution. Trump can't just get rid of it with an executive order.
But guess what? People are telling us that Trump is going to get rid of birthright citizenship. Doesn't that
He's
sound a
gonna
lot?
try.
He's not going to. Just like he said, he's going to build a wall.
No, no, no. He already did try. He already signed the executive
He's not
order.
going to. That's a scare tactic for my people.
I mean, I agree
Just
it's a
like
scare
when he said-
tactic. I agree
just like
it's a
when he said
scare
he's gonna
tactic.
build a wall.
But he's trying to do it. And the
Great.
big beautiful bill
There,
did
that's
contain
one part.
funding for
Okay,
things
great.
like the wall.
That's one part. That's a scare tactic he uses. Another one.
Hold on, we
One
don't
of
have
these-
to debate
no,
that
no,
Trump is
no.
bad on immigration.
Oh
I
my
agree.
God. No, this is where I'm in a roll, and then you're kind of like, oh no, this guy's gonna cook right now. I'm talking simple right now. Okay, my next point.
I'm not
right now-
debating you on if
no,
Trump is bad on immigration. I agree he's
ICE
bad on
right now-
immigration.
no, no.
So why are
on
you
Instagram, on social media? What is ICE doing? What type of videos?
propaganda,
right in front of our
fear,
face.
fear propaganda?
Right. But also, what do they want to do? Add some comedy to it. Add some music, and
It's
they
gross.
purposely are getting and they're purposely getting liberal artists. And then no,
Wait, how is that
they're
liberal?
doing it. No. What do you mean? Which artists are they choosing? They're choosing purposely artists who are so liberal, and also artists that are so like whoa.
You
Not only
think
that-
that mistreating like immigrants is like a liberal immigration tactic that MAGA has like learned from the Democrats?
No. But for example, when they choose a Sabrina Carpenter song, there's the end goal with that. There's an end goal when they choose these artists, and then these
Yeah,
artists
the
online
end
are
goal
saying,
is a
"Don't use my
propaganda.
music."
The end goal is a propaganda video, and Sabrina Carpenter rightly called them out and said, "Stop
Great.
using my music for your
now
evil
answer
bullshit."
this. Now answer this. What propaganda did the Democrats use when they were deporting the same amount of people and even more?
They didn't
Were they
do
telling
this.
us? No. Were they telling us we're
Democrats
putting kids in
didn't do
cages?
this.
No. We're at the
You
time.
acknowledge
where
that, right?
Democrats, No.
You don't acknowledge that?
No. I'm asking. No. Let me ask you something right now. At the time,
I'm not just going to let you get
No,
away with
let
this,
me
though.
ask you something.
Democrats
No,
didn't
let me-
do that, right?
Let me
You
ask you
agree?
something. Yes. No, they did. But not,
They did or
not
they
in our
didn't?
faces. They did, but not in our faces.
What-
That's what I'm trying to tell you. They didn't do these Instagram videos. They didn't do all this propaganda. Instead, they hide it they hide it in front of our faces. And guess what?
How do you
still
hide
used
something
it-
in front of someone's face? They'd see it.
because people to this day still say that Obama didn't use cages to this day.
No,
Now, that's
everyone
propaganda.
acknowledges. And dude,
No, there's
Look-
people to this day who deny that Obama
okay,
used cages.
there's a
they
few.
say it's not true.
There's a very small group of people that deny that. But again, if you look at the
what
actual
propaganda
news,
was used when,
the left
when Obama
criticized
has the
Obama.
record for the most deportations?
Here's the difference. The left criticized Obama for kids in cages. The left criticized Obama for drone strikes.
But
They
why
weren't
do
a
that to
cult.
the Latinos in the
That's
first
the
place?
difference.
Why? No, why do that to the Latinos in the first place?
I
Why give us that
agree.
low standard?
I agree.
Like
That was
DACA.
bad.
Why? But
Because
then you guys had
DHS,
all
because
these years to
DHS,
fix
you're
it
gonna
with
ask
Joe
me a
Biden,
question,
but
then
then
don't let me
don't.
answer. The reason that
Just
happened
call
is
it out.
because DHS policy on that was wrong.
On what?
On how to hold people that are like waiting for their credible fear interview or an asylum case. That was
For
wrong.
Obama?
I mean, that was also under Bush, by the way. But yes, Obama should have changed it. He didn't. That's on him.
But not at the same rate. Not at all.
And again,
And
no one
Bush
here
didn't use
hold on.
cages.
You're debating me on stuff that I don't disagree with. Obama had abuses on immigration policy. I'm just saying they pale in comparison to what Trump is doing. This is apples and atomic bombs, not even apples and oranges. They're not comparable. There's no analogy here.
There is because oh my God, like you.
This is
You
like
don't let me
comparing
finish my
shoving
point.
someone to like shooting them in the head. Like these
Yeah,
are
it
not the
does.
same severity.
No. You. I'm not gonna lie. I was on a roll. This is gonna be
Yeah,
another
you
one.
were on a
No,
roll
let
down
me-
a hill towards a dumpster. Like you were making no
I'm about to
arguments.
I'm about to Steph Curry another shot and try to go for another one. When we're unhappy because there's a lot of cuckoo heads who are still defending Trump when he was doing these inhumane things to my people. I'm not. I was calling him out just
Wait,
like we were calling
Then
Obama
why
out.
are we debating this prompt? Do you remember the prompt
Great.
we're debating?
No, because something happened. No, what happens when we put Trump on the his feet on the fire? Who is he focused on now? Somalians. That's what happens. That's what happens
Yes,
when you
Trump
put him on the fire.
fearmongers and says racist shit when his back is up
No,
against the wall.
He noticed that, oh, I am losing the Latino vote. These Latinos have a point. They didn't start the border crisis. And also, yeah, we are only targeting Latinos. Let's target Somalians. Let's target the Indians who abuse the student visas. Let's target the Canadians. Let's target the Europeans.
It's
Now-
so okay.
Now,
Just to
do
be
you see
clear,
Latinos getting targeted? No.
Just to
now
be clear.
Somalians, I don't want no one to get targeted. But
just
now
to be
it's
clear,
more fair.
you're
You know it.
alleging that Trump was like at the behest of the Latino community. He went after Somalians. That he was
No.
thinking
What?
logically. He's like, I bet the Latinos really want me to go after the Somalians. Like, they have a good point.
Yes.
Let me racially
Yes.
profile other people besides the
Yeah.
Latinos.
That's why he said something. He said something in his campaign when he went in Pennsylvania. He said, I don't see the Latinos running for mayor. And that's when everyone was cheering. Because why? He was calling out these Somalians who I
What
don't
are
want no
you
one to
even
get
talking
deported.
about right now?
What do you mean what I'm talking about? I'm talking about Minnesota,
I want to
buddy.
be
I'm
clear.
talking about
We're
these Somalians who
debating
are
the
now getting
third
targeted. Now
prompt.
they know what Latinos
I
go
want to
through.
be clear. We're debating the third prompt. Mass deportations are
Yes.
dangerous, inhumane, and wasteful. Do you agree with me that Trump's mass deportations are dangerous, inhumane, and wasteful?
No, because in the first time it can be done right.
They're being done right now.
No.
So then they are dangerous, inhumane, and wasteful.
For now.
So then why are you
And
debating me? You're trying to mind read that Trump's going to wake up and on fucking Christmas Day his heart's going to grow 3 sizes like the Grinch, and he's going to say, "Oh, I love everyone now."
It is because now he's targeting everyone fairly, and that's what we campaign for.
Oh,
You guys
equal
always say,
opportunity
"What
of
are these new
racism."
policies you guys want?" Huh?
Equal opportunity
said
of
what?
racism. He's saying, I'm not just going to be racist to Latinos. He's going to be like Oprah.
What?
You get to be racist. You get to be racist. Everyone gets to be racist.
Oh, so
What is
you
this?
have a problem that it's not Latinos only getting targeted now?
You're saying
Now
that
I'm
you're going to
saying
be
that it's
happy if
fair.
Trump targets other racial groups as well, at
Yes,
least?
I'm happy that my
You want
Latinos
more
are not
racism?
no, I'm happy that my Latinos are not the ones getting targeted only now. And we didn't even start that border crisis.
How about we target no one on the basis of their race or ethnicity or nationality? How about that?
So we shouldn't deport the criminals?
Wait,
We shouldn't
I've
deport
never heard this
cartel
argument.
members?
You're saying that
No,
the
no, so-
hold
so we
on.
didn't- you shouldn't
I just
deport
want to
criminals?
clarify. I just want to clarify your argument. Tell me if I'm misrepresenting your argument. You're saying
Sure.
at least Trump's not only going to racially profile Latinos, he's also going to racially profile like Haitians and Somalians as well.
No,
Yay!
I'm just agreeing
Everyone
with you
gets
to not, no, you're
prejudice
just woke.
towards them.
No, you're soft. No, you're soft. I'm just agreeing with you to not waste the conversation. If you want me to be like you want
A
me to
normal
be
person?
very sure, let's be a normal person. No, I don't think he's gonna do it in a racist way. I think it's gonna be fair. I think it's gonna be
Why?
no matter
Why do you
who we
think
look
that?
like. Because the numbers are adding up, and also he's calling out the Somalians and also Middle Easterns who started the border
What do you
crisis.
mean the numbers are adding up? Do you agree
What do
that
you
ICE
mean?
is profiling people and
Do you notice
abusing?
but
Do
do you
you
see how
agree
you
that
ignore my
ICE
border
is?
crisis point?
Do you agree
Do
that
you see how you
ICE?
ignore my border
Do
crisis
you
point?
agree that ICE is profiling people and violating their
Yes,
civil rights?
Latinos. Yes,
Not, I
Latinos.
mean, by and large Latinos, but not only Latinos.
Oh, let's focus on the less than 1%.
No,
That's like
let's
focusing on
focus
trans
on
issues. Who cares on the
everyone.
1%?
Let's focus on everyone. It's all wrong.
No, let's focus
It's
on the
not all wrong. It's
86% who
only
get
wrong
deported
against
every
Latino
year.
people, or what are you even saying right now?
What I'm saying to you is, I don't want my people to get only targeted, but then when
Same.
we try to do it,
I don't
but
want
when
anyone
we
to get
try to,
targeted. I want a
and then
humane.
I'm gonna get
I
this. I'm gonna
want
get this
a
last point out.
humane and a humane
I
and
want this
efficient
last point to
immigration
get out.
process. Go
And
ahead.
then when us Latinos do it the right way, we don't get approved the most. So that's what I'm calling
You
it out.
should.
I don't want I don't want no one to get deported. But
Well,
now
some
you have
people,
a
but it
problem that it's
depends.
gonna no. Now you have a problem. Now you're gonna call me. Oh, now you're gonna say it's racist. But it's gonna be more fair. How? How is that the case?
Because
That's so
you're
silly.
saying at least they won't only profile Latinos, they'll profile other people as well. I'm saying, how about we profile no one?
Yes.
How about we profile no one?
Why?
Because profiling is bad, and we should have a more efficient and humane immigration system where if someone is actually a dangerous criminal, we deport them. If they're actually just here to work
And
and
with this
contribute, they have a
mindset,
pathway.
another border crisis happens, and you affect my people.
What?
You let everyone with this mindset you have right now, where you're saying, let's not target everyone. This is how the border crisis happened
No.
because there was never a border crisis. We were enabled to cross that border, Latinos.
Which
us.
border crisis?
What border crisis? There was no border crisis?
I'm asking you, referring to what happened under Biden or something else?
The only time, yes. All
It's not,
those years
it's not the
before, there
only
was never a
time.
border crisis, buddy. We were
Wait,
enabled to cross that
so
river and
what
desert.
is your understanding of why there was a border crisis under Biden? Can you just explain that to me?
Because all these countries around the world flew to Mexico and signed up on that stupid app and then let all of them in. But then
Wait, you
now
think
that
that app
now
let
that it
people
hit,
in? CBP1 let people in?
sure, it was an easy sign up that let people in. Not
What is
only
your
that,
understanding of
it
what that app is
enabled people
for?
to go to Mexico.
What is your understanding of
what?
what that app is for?
forgot now, but if I had to remember right now,
Why do
it's
you have such strong opinions on things you don't even know, like how to answer
I
one
do. I
follow-up
just
question
forgot.
on?
You want me
Then
to
why are you
lie?
expressing an
Do you want me to
opinion?
lie? I want to have a good conversation. You want me to
No,
have
I
pride
just
and
want you to
lie?
think
Oh yeah,
like
I do know. I'm just not
all
gonna
I'm
tell you.
asking of you is like,
I'm lying.
if
I'm
I don't have
honest.
all I'm asking of you is, if I don't have information on this, maybe I shouldn't have very high conviction opinions that I'm arguing in favor of on that topic.
Dog, it's because I forgot about that stupid app. Because is
Forgot
that
about that
app
though. Is
relevant
that
right?
that's it? I forgot about
Because
that
is that
though.
app relevant right? No, because is that app relevant right now?
Yeah, to the subject because you brought it up. Yeah,
No, no, no. Is that relevant right now?
it
Can people
is
go through that
because we're
app right now?
debating and you brought it up.
No, no, but no, no, no. Can people go through that app right now?
Not
Can,
anymore
can someone? So why the fuck would I care about that app?
because
Who
we're
gives a
talking
fuck?
about Biden's
That's
border
traumatizing.
crisis.
That's traumatizing to me, if anything.
You're running.
That affected my
You're
people.
talking about Biden's border crisis. I'm saying, what are you referring to there?
Exactly.
Because you're
And
wrong about
who was
what
the
happened under
majorities of
Biden.
signups on that app? Who was the majority of signups?
Why are you changing the subject now?
I'm not.
What
Who
is
was
the
the
app?
majority of signups on that app?
What is
How
the
am I
app
switching the
for?
subject?
What is
I'm
the app
crashing out
for?
now. Oh, what is the app for?
Yeah.
How am I changing the subject if I'm asking you who signed up on that app?
You can't make any argument about what's signing up
No,
on
no.
that.
Do you see
Hold
that?
on.
How did
Yes,
I
and I'm
switch
going
the
to address
subject?
that.
How?
You can't make any
So you lied
argument.
right there. You
You
make me sound like a cuckoo head, bro, and you
because
make
you
me
are.
crash
Hold
out.
on. You can't make any
We can
argument.
just switch the topic.
You're scared of what I'm about to say. You can't make any argument about
Maybe.
what the number of signups on the app means if you don't know what the app is. You have to be able to explain why it would be bad, who is signing up, or how many people are signing up. What is the app? What are they signing up for?
The app was basically like to seek refugee, and if you had a strong case, you apply for it. You are allowed to the United States before your case is through, and then you get an opportunity
All
to
the app was for was to
go to the
come to a
States.
port of entry and schedule
Huh,
a credible fear interview. Scheduling a credible
exactly.
fear interview doesn't mean you get into the.
Fear interview. That's what I'm saying. Seek refugee, buddy.
No.
Seek asylum. Who
Seeking
cares?
a
Same
credible
thing.
fear
Tomato,
interview
tomato.
Seeking a credible fear interview doesn't mean you automatically get into the country. You could be rejected at the port of entry.
Okay, thank you. And okay, thank you for educating me. Thank you. And the viewers. Now, who signed up that app? Who?
People that
Was
were
it
seeking
Latinos?
asylum, Convention Against
But
Torture.
it's on the Mexican border though. So who signed up on that app? It should be Latinos majority, right? Wouldn't you
I
agree?
assume so, sure.
Well, no, it's not.
Okay.
Okay, not
Why
a
does
big
that
deal. Who
matter?
cares?
Why does that matter either way?
So no, because it matters because if it wasn't Latinos who entered through that and started that crisis, then when the poop hits the fan, now we're responsible for that. Now
Hold on.
we're the only ones getting
You
targeted.
keep going back to this
Why
thing where
don't
you
Canadians get targeted?
correctly
Why don't these Muslims get targeted? Why
you
don't these
keep
Jews
going you
or these
keep
Europeans?
you keep doing this thing where you correctly point out that the Trump
No, you
admin
know I'm right.
dude,
Sorry if I'm unfiltered. I'm right.
you keep doing this thing where you correctly call out the Trump administration for profiling Latino people, and you're like, wait, why can't we also profile other races? And I'm saying, how about we don't consider
For it
race
to be
and
fair,
ethnicity in immigration?
because we're gonna have deportations no matter what,
How about we
especially for
how about
criminals.
we don't do deportations on the basis of race? Oh my goodness. How about we don't do it on the basis of race? Wouldn't that be better?
Oh my God, dude, this is like with your logic, you there's no
You
wage gap, right?
disagree? You actually
There's no wage
disagree?
gap, right?
You
No, no,
want to
there's
have
no
a
wage gap,
racist
right?
immigration
Right?
system?
Right? No, no, men and women are paid equally, right? Because that's so illegal for women to get paid less,
Why
right?
are you changing the
Right?
topic?
I'm not. It's just you're so silly when you talk
Why do
like
you want
this.
to
Like it's
profile
so
people based on race when it comes to immigration? Why not just say if you have a valid asylum claim, you get to stay. If you're actually a dangerous criminal, you get deported. That's the common sense immigration
because
approach
you
that
guys don't give
everyone
it to the
wants.
right people. You guys don't even give it to the right people,
Who
first of
is you
all.
guys? I don't work in fucking
Both
DHS. What do you mean,
parties.
you guys?
Stop looking. No, I know not you. You have no power. I know
No, it's
not
because you
you. You know who
generalize
I'm
you
talking about.
guys.
Common sense,
Apparently, like I'm
Democrats.
part of the Obama squad
Not
or
you,
something.
buddy. You're not the main character. Democrats. That's what I'm talking about.
I'm not even a Democrat. I'm an independent.
Sure. Okay, great. Great.
Go
Should
ahead. Make an.
Latinos be
I don't even know
independent?
what you're arguing at this point, but go ahead.
You know what? This is what I'm going to do. I think the Latino vote is going to go back to normal, and we're all going to vote Democrat. I believe it's going to be a Democrat president the next election. Don't respond with if we have a next election. Please don't scare the people.
I mean,
Um,
that's a valid thing to be worried about.
right, right. Just like birthright citizenship, right? Right.
And so you have to change the
Anyway,
subject instead of addressing why
no,
it's bad to assume.
I'm saying stop scaring people, and also
No,
you're going to call Trump a liar,
hold
but then
on.
also let's be scared.
There's a very
So
valid.
fucking silly.
There's a very high chance the 2028 election has rigging or interference. Do you disagree?
Yes, just like
Okay.
how the
On what
other election
basis?
was rigged.
On what basis do you disagree? Because Trump
Sorry?
said he wants to do it, and Trump can do it. So why do you have information we don't?
Because would you agree Trump is a liar? Yes or no? Simple.
Sometimes.
Yes or no?
Sometimes.
Sometimes. Now you're defending him? I think he's a liar
No,
sometimes.
when
I
Trump
think
says, "Hi,
a
my
lot of
name
the
is
times,
Donald." Hold
actually.
on. When Trump says, "Hi, my name is Donald Trump," there, I don't think he's being
Oh
a
my
liar.
God. Why are you like this is where you're so like a troll? I mean, when he says his
I
name,
think
he's
you're
not lying.
trolling.
You're not even I'm not trolling. Like your attempt at
Do you
comedy is
think
so
that calling Trump a liar means that every word he ever says is a lie?
no, what I'm saying to you is I think Trump is a liar because he's a smart businessman. When I
No,
asked
he's a
you, is Trump is
dumbass.
a liar, you defend him and say, well, sometimes he's honest sometimes now. Now you're defending him. How are you gonna say Trump is
I
a
would have
liar, but
always
then at
said
the
that
same
he's
time we
honest
gotta be
some
scared of Trump?
I would have
So we gotta be
always
scared
said
of
that
Trump
he's
though?
honest sometimes. Every liar is honest sometimes.
And the whole this okay, anyway, where I'm going
Who
at
is
is
lying
who are
like
the
100% of the time
no,
on fucking
this is where I'm
basic
going at.
stuff?
No, let's see. Who are the Democrats gonna deport in 2028? It's gonna be fair?
I hope so. I'm
And
gonna like. What do you mean? How would
what
I
do you mean
know?
hope so?
There's gonna
Democrats,
there's
what do you
gonna
mean
be a
hope so?
Democratic
Don't shouldn't
primary.
Democrats do that
There's
to
gonna
us?
be a Democratic primary where they're gonna hash out their immigration policy, and I hope the more progressive candidates win.
Yeah, but why do you mean hope so? Didn't Democrats already give the standard of not being inhumane?
There's
What do you mean
no.
hope so?
You understand? There's ideological disagreement within the Democratic Party on immigration, right?
Right, like what?
Some
I
people,
don't know
some
this.
people
Right,
supported
like
like
what?
some people support like the Langford border bill. Some people support mass amnesty. Like
What's
there's a,
that?
the border bill that had like bipartisan support in 2024 that Trump sabotaged.
And also the kids in cages, right?
Why do you never address the point? You always jump to kids in cage. You
No, I'm
jump to
not.
Obama.
I'm
You
adding to
don't
your point.
address.
I'm adding to
No,
your
no, no.
point.
You run.
I don't run.
Then address what I said instead
I'm
of bringing in
facing
an
you face
outside
to
point.
face right now, bro. I'm not running.
We're not face to face or cameras off. Can you just address the actual argument instead of bringing in an outside point to try to obfuscate?
I'm not. I'm adding to your point.
By the way, if you guys are enjoying the live, make sure you double tap the screen, follow up above in my Cash App, PayPal, and Venmo on the link tree in my
And
bio.
that's why you said hope so, because you know there's a risk of Democrats being awful, putting kids in cages, and also maybe
Shh.
beating the world
And
record of
that's
Obama.
that's why we have a primary process where we can apply pressure on our party and have someone better win the nomination. And that's why I always criticize Democrats. You can go to my page. I have multiple videos criticizing Democrats. The difference is I don't draw false equivalencies. When I criticize the Democrats, even my worst criticism of Democrats is fucking atoms. It's fucking peanuts compared to my smallest criticism of Trump. Because the scale here is not the same. You can do the enlightened centrist routine and say, oh, both parties are equally bad. That's bullshit. It's not true.
It is.
It's
So
not.
so it is.
It makes you
You
seem
just
like, oh, I'm above the fray. I'm so unique. I see both
facts.
parties. I'm outside the matrix.
Facts.
It's corny.
No, that's where you're projecting.
It's
That's where you're projecting
corny.
that you think I'm this. No, you're projecting. You think I'm this. I'm in the matrix. I'm corny, but no, that's what you think I am. You're just scared of people like me who call it out. You're scared of 48% of us Latinos fucking have the balls and have high standards and voted for a
I'm not
horrible man who said
scared
horrible
of
things about us.
48% of Latinos. I don't know where
Yes,
you're
you
getting
are.
that from.
Just like if the Democrats lost the black vote, then maybe you will respect it a bit, right? Then maybe you'll be like, oh shit,
Hold on.
oh fuck,
I
oh man.
respect I respect
That's how you
people.
know.
I respect people even who voted for Trump. I want them to have health care. I want them to be treated fairly even if they voted for Trump. Your live is not eligible for recommendation and restricted in search results for the next 10 minutes because your live does not comply with the 4U feed eligibility standard under our community guidelines. Misinformation that may cause
Because of the
moderate harm.
truth. That's what happens when we talk about the truth and we call out both parties and don't say lies. That's what happens.
I called
That's
out
what
both
happens.
parties. You pretend like they're the same. That's not the same thing.
I said that Trump is more inhumane right now. What are you talking about?
Then why
That's
are
what
you
I mean.
debating
That
me?
you make me sound like a poo poo head. I'm
No,
not.
you make
I
you
have a
sound like a
perspective.
poo-poo head.
Me and 48% of Latinos have a perspective.
Hold on. Stop acting like you speak for the rest of the Latino community. That's weird. You don't know why
It's
other
not weird.
Latinos may have voted for Trump. There's probably a
Oh,
million
like the
different
Cubans and
reasons.
Venezuelans, like the Cubans and Venezuelans, economy reasons, right? Oh, religious reasons, right? So when we
All
voted
of
for
the above
Hillary, we
and others. Just
right, we
don't.
voted for we didn't have these when we voted Hillary. We didn't have these considerations. Crazy how we voted Hillary, but we didn't vote
Who is
Harris, right?
we, bro?
Us Latinos, buddy, catching up
Latinos
now. Catch
Latinos are
up.
not a monolith.
What? What
Latinos
do you
are not
call it?
all this. You're acting like it's just one hive mind and you can speak for all
No,
of
but
them.
we controlled that election. What if the Latinos voted Mrs. Harris? What would have happened?
She probably would have won.
What? Hey, does she have focus on Latinos?
What do you mean? Does she
Because she
have
did focus on
focus
him.
on them?
What do you mean?
She had an immigration plan, if that's what you're asking.
No, see, she had an immigration plans for the Jews, for people who get approved right now.
What?
You admitted that
What?
Latinos went, what? What?
What did you
Those
just say?
judges, should I say it slower? When
No,
us
just
Latinos try to
explain
do
it.
it,
What do you mean she had an
sure,
immigration plan for the Jews? What does that even mean?
sure. When us Latinos try to do it the right way, we don't get approved. When you look at the people who get approved, people from Israel get more approved than any Central American country or South American country. Only Mexico beats Israel. And who's Mexican president? A Jew. So when you start saying Mrs. Harris had an
Why is
immigration
that
plan
relevant?
or
Why
she
is
had
them
more
being
judges,
Jewish
that's
relevant?
good for because these immigration plans that she was campaigning for aren't good for
Okay, if this guy was gonna go full Jewish question on me, I feel like my live would get taken down. I think that the flag was just for the next 10 minutes, right? So hopefully it can show up back in people's FYP again. If you guys are enjoying the live, make sure you double tap the screen. Make sure you follow up above. If you want to support a radical left lunatic like myself, my Cash App, PayPal, and Venmo are all in the link tree in my bio. I'm also live on YouTube right now. Now, what's funny is when I started debating that guy, there were 5 people in the guest requests. You want to guess how many people are in the guest requests now? 0. Because they probably saw him bring up all the talking points they wanted to bring up, and they saw how bullshit the talking points were, and now none of them want to debate anymore. So, that was fun. We're lucky if we get one person who wants to debate. That's what's left in MAGA. It's those types of people, right? I say always, there are 2 types of people left in MAGA now, right? Or maybe 3. One is people who are just overtly racist and authoritarian. They say, yes, I love racism. Yes, I love authoritarianism. The second group is people that are just so ignorant and so detached from reality that they don't even know what's going on anymore. They have some fantasy world in their head where things aren't as bad as they actually are. Those are the 2 groups left in MAGA. The third group is the marketers, the people at the top, the ringleaders, right? The people who know it's all bullshit. They know it's a scam. They know it's a lie, right? I mean, there's the true believers who are the voters, and then there's the ringleaders who know it's all a fucking lie, and that the true believers are either too stupid or too bigoted to know otherwise or to vote otherwise. Hey, how old are you?
Hello? Old enough?
Just give me birth year.
18?
What birth year?
I don't know.
Yeah. Is anyone surprised by that? Did anyone see? I mean, this is how you can. I'm going to switch over to the. I want to switch over to my screen share real quick. Hold on. Let me switch here as well. Like, this is what I mean when I say MAGA is falling apart. Okay. Jack Smith. People maybe have seen TikToks about this. The guy who indicted Trump for trying to steal the election and for obstruction of justice in the classified documents case. The House Oversight Committee asked him to testify because, remember, Republicans claim that Jack Smith is this evil, corrupt person who was out to get Trump, and there was these cases were all bullshit, right? And then when Jack Smith hears this, he's like, please, can I testify publicly? I'll testify publicly under oath. MAGA can ask me all their tough questions in front of the American people under penalty of perjury. You'd think that if the MAGA people actually believe this was politicized, they would agree and do an actual, like, on TV testimony. But then they say, no, we're doing it closed doors behind the scenes. Even though Trump is on Truth Social posting, deranged lunatic Jack Smith, make him answer for his crimes against me in public. It's crazy. Trump agrees and Jack Smith agrees, and all of the true believers who think that it was actually politicized, all the actual Trump voters, they agree, let Jack Smith testify publicly. The only people who don't want him to testify publicly are the House Republicans who know that Trump is a criminal, and they know it's all a grift, and they know it's all a scam, and they know it's all a lie, and they know he's an authoritarian, and they know he's a criminal, but they're more concerned with preserving their own political power. And those people have started jumping ship. Dan Bongino is retiring. Elise Stefanik in New York is saying, I'm no longer running for governor. Republicans are fleeing like rats on a sinking ship. But it's way too late because they knew that ship was going to sink. This is what's so annoying now. All these people who were super cocky before the election, oh, Trump's going to lower prices. He's going to be amazing. I had all these signs in my neighborhood, all these yard signs. Kamala, they would say Comrade Kamala equals high prices. Donald Trump equals low prices. Where'd all those yard signs go? Where'd all the Comrade Kamala people go? Oh, her laugh is weird. You know what I think is weird? Pardoning terrorists, being corrupt to the tune of billions of dollars. Debate Millie? People always tell me debate Millie. I don't know who that is. If Millie wants to debate me, then she can. If you guys want to send me someone to debate me, I'd love that. Otherwise, I'm just going to yap about the news, I guess. Again, like, it's so clear cut. It's so clear cut. And it's like, when these types of people hop on and debate me that, oh, Trump's actually not that bad. You know what's crazy? Trump doesn't believe that. Trump's actual supporters in the House and Senate don't believe that. Are you looking forward to the match tonight? Oh, yeah. Is everyone looking forward to watching Jake Paul get knocked out tonight? What a dumbass he is for taking that fight, by the way. I don't know why he's doing that. I'm actually concerned for his health. Do you think it might be rigged? No. And I have to say this as someone who actually watches combat sports, okay? You can't just rig a fight, okay? When you have an actual sanctioned bout, you can't just rig it. That is extremely illegal, and you would find out about it in the news, okay? So Jake Paul's fights are not rigged. He just selectively handpicks people who have a certain image but aren't actually hard contests, right? Like Tyron Woodley and Anderson Silva in the UFC spaces are like legends, very good fighters. Being a good UFC fighter does not mean you're a good boxer. Boxing and UFC, totally different mechanics. The way you're standing, your stance, the way you distribute your weight, the way you defend, the distance you keep, it's completely different. Most decent boxers can knock out most decent MMA fighters in a strictly boxing bout, right? So people do illegal stuff and get away with it, but Jake Paul's fights always are like the top 5 biggest fights in that given year. And there's so many people who have a vested interest in exposing that it's illegal, right? The only Jake Paul fight that I would say is like rigged in any way was in the Mike Tyson fight. He was clearly holding back. He could have knocked out Mike Tyson. He didn't. Honestly, maybe for the best. I don't think anyone wants to see that happen. But people just don't understand boxing when they say stuff like this, right? People that thought that Mike Tyson was going to beat Jake Paul, it was very clear that that was going to be very one-sided, okay? Because it doesn't matter if you're Mike Tyson or Muhammad Ali or fucking Floyd Mayweather. If you're like pushing 70 years old, you're not going to be able to win. You're not going to be able to beat even like a decent mid-20s, early 30s boxer. That was elder abuse. I agree. But I want to read this article, dude, because I'm noticing a bifurcation between the true believers and the marketers, okay? You have to think of MAGA almost like a fucking pyramid scheme, right? Or some kind of scam. At the top, you have Trump himself, okay? Is there something where I can draw? Is there like where I don't have to sign up for some shit? Okay. At the top level here you have Trump, okay? And I can't draw for shit with my trackpad, okay? Then one level below him, you have the marketers, okay? All these, I don't know what I'm even doing here. All these Republicans, this is Marco Rubio, this is Pam Bondi, this is Kash Patel, this is Pete Hegseth, this is Mitch McConnell, all of these people that make excuses. Then you have down here, you have the influencers, you have the fucking Ben Shapiro's, the Tucker Carlsons, everyone who knows the Benny Johnsons, all these people, right? And then at the very, very bottom, you have the suckers. These are all the average MAGA voters, okay? This is the 77 million people that voted for Trump. Newsflash. Donald Trump and all of these people, the Pam Bondis, they all know that Trump is a criminal. They all know that Trump is an authoritarian. They all know that they are lying. They all are purposefully lying to their supporters. And this entire presidency has just been virtue signaling for MAGA. That's why they make these videos, these compilations of putting people in handcuffs. That's why they have quota systems and they don't actually prioritize dangerous criminals. They want to just be able to sell the image. It's what North Korea does. They want to sell the image to keep the fanfare alive and well and keep the base energized. Our glorious leader Trump, and they make these videos with the music and slow motion. These people in shackles are being walked onto a plane. It's performative cruelty. Because a lot of these people just want cruelty. They feel aggrieved by insert group here, and they want to then punish that group. Insert group here can be the Democratic Party, undocumented immigrants, trans people, the FBI, the DOJ, law and order, the justice system, the judicial branch. These are all their perceived enemies. They just want to punish them. And as long as the administration can show in the media, look how hard we're punishing them, to the point where they use AI. They literally created an AI image of a protester standing outside an ICE facility saying, they may hate you, but we stand with you, ICE. We love you, ICE. The silent majority loves you, ICE. It was an AI generated image of a fake protester who was pro-ICE. Didn't actually exist. The entire way they maintain control here is narrative control and performative cruelty. Here's what's happening though, and here's what you're seeing. This second group, the Republican lawmakers, the Trump cabinet officials, they are noticing now, oh, this is bad. We've committed a lot of crimes really quickly. Trump is historically unpopular, in the mid-30s in terms of his approval rating, historically unpopular. And it seems like we're cooked in the midterms, we're cooked in 2028, and we went mask off a little bit too quick. We kind of let the cat out of the bag a little bit too quick on the white nationalism and the authoritarianism. Maybe should have phased that in a little bit slower. This is now a sinking ship. So we have to start jumping off the ship, okay? And as you see certain ones jumping off the ship, you see some of these influencer types saying, yeah, we're also going to jump off the ship, right? Candace Owens, Tucker Carlson, Nick Fuentes. We're not actually Trump. We're America first. We're something different. We're not a part of those Epstein people. We're not a part of those crazy people over there, those criminal people. And all the meanwhile, you have this bottom layer, the true believers, hopping on to my TikTok live, acting like everything's peaches and cream, nothing's going on, no criminality, no chaos, no cognitive decline, no hawkishness with foreign policy. It's a joke, and I understand this actually, out of context, makes me look like a crazy person, because I can't draw. But I think you understand my point, okay? I think you understand my point, in that these people are arguing something that the people they're defending don't even believe. Like, Trump sees his supporters as useful idiots. It's so funny how much MAGA is like, can you believe Hillary called us a basket of deplorables? Can you believe Joe Biden called us garbage? No one looks down more on Trump supporters than Donald Trump. No one thinks more low of Trump supporters than Donald Trump. He finds them as easy marks. He thinks they're easy to manipulate. He thinks that they have some legitimate economic grievances on outsourcing and automation, and that he can swoop in and use his charisma and his media know-how and his ability to get attention to steal that from them and take advantage of their legitimate grievances and then twist it into this weird white nationalist, authoritarian, revenge-driven thing. And it's gross. It's actually gross. And, like, the way he's been able to lower the bar, dude, it's actually unreal. That, like, I guess this is corny now. Like, and I do think that Trump has a certain type of charisma. At least he did in 2016. He doesn't anymore. He has a certain type of charisma that appeals to a certain type of person. He has a certain type of juice, right? Because you can send J.D. Vance out there or Marco Rubio out there, and they can say verbatim exactly what Trump is saying, but it just doesn't hit the same way for Republicans. Trump is just so blatantly doesn't give a fuck about any rules. He thinks it's my way or the highway. It's an authoritarian personality. It's a narcissistic personality. The Republicans love that because they view every single rule, every single social norm, things like racism is bad, as some kind of affront to their free speech rights or some kind of oppression that they have to face. I mean, a lot of this, by the way, this all started, right? You know this thing of like, if you go back in time and you change one thing, you could actually change the entire world as you know it. This is all happening just because of the White House Correspondents' Dinner that Obama invited Trump to. Just to be clear, this has all been like a narcissistic revenge project where Trump and a lot of Trump supporters were just really mad that Obama cooked in 2008. He won a landslide victory. He crushed the American right. The American right felt confused and afraid and defeated election night 2008. They held on to that. They internalized that trauma of Obama destroying them for multiple reasons, because they lost political power, because Obama's black, because his middle name is Hussein, right? Trump loves saying Barack Hussein Obama. Why does Trump constantly emphasize Obama's middle name? Is it because he's so concerned with being 100% accurate on how to say his name, or because it's kind of like a dog whistle? Barack Hussein Obama, this outsider, this dirty, dirty outsider who ruined the American way of life. He trans the kids. Like, they have constructed an entire worldview where they have been aggrieved and attacked by these horrible, evil, left-wing people who are against racism and don't want trans people to be bullied. How dare they? And that has blown up into what we're living in right now, where our government is collapsing in front of our eyes. We're witnessing in real time authoritarian takeover. And it's not hidden, it's not secret, and what we're also witnessing in real time is mass psychosis, social contagion, mass hysteria. These people don't just disagree with us on policy. They don't just think, you want like higher taxes and like a bigger role for the state in the economy. They just believe factually different things than us. That has to be, you can't keep, a country can't survive with that. You have to reconcile that. When there's like such a deep epistemic difference on what is true and what is false. Was the 2020 election quote unquote rigged? Was BLM some violent terrorist organization that took to destroy the streets of America? Is this real? Or is that just a narrative that was sold to you and then you just take it as a matter of fact? Holy shit. Hugo, thank you so much for the $50 on Cash App for Debate Millie. I will look into debating Millie. I'll debate anyone, anytime, any place. If Millie would like to debate me, I'll look into that. Can we get some W's for Hugo in the chat for the $50 on Cash App? Thank you so much, Hugo. Russia does always win, by the way. Does everyone here remember what Steve Witkoff said to Russia? It's actually insane what we're living through right now. This is why I don't understand how people are still debating in favor of Trump. I'm debating Rob Knorr next Tuesday at 9 p.m. on Modern Day Debate on YouTube. And the one thing I can't get over as I'm prepping for this debate is what could Rob possibly have to say about why Trump is better than Kamala Harris? I want to read people how bad this is. I need to find the actual transcript for this call. It's actually unreal, dude. Here we go. Here we go. This is a phone call between Steve Witkoff, this guy who has no actual official position. He's just a special envoy, whatever that means. And he basically single-handedly conducts our foreign policy along with like Marco Rubio and Jared Kushner, these random people, because Trump is too cognitively declined to actually do anything. They send Steve Witkoff off to negotiate the Gaza peace plan and negotiate the settlement of the Russia-Ukraine war. He's very clearly in the pocket of Russia. He very clearly has allegiances to Russia. Here's the conversation between Steve Witkoff and Yuri Ushakov from Russia, who's like a senior Russian diplomat. Hi, Yuri. Yeah, Steve. Hi, how are you? Good. How are you doing? I'm okay. Congratulations, my friend. Thank you. You made a great job. Just a great job. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Yuri. And thanks for your support. I know your country supported it, and I thank you. Yes, yes, yes. Yes. You know why we suspended the organization of the first... This is just them exchanging pleasantries. And then here you have this. Yuri says, yeah. You need to solve only one problem. Steve Witkoff says, what? Russia-Ukraine war. I know. How do we get that solved? Steve Witkoff asks the Russians. My friend, I just want your advice. Do you think that it will be... Why is a Russian diplomat asking an American diplomat on advice on how to deal with the American head of state? Doesn't seem like a very unified front for the United States to put up. Do you think it will be useful if our bosses will talk on the phone? Yes, I do. You do. And when do you think it could be possible? I think as soon as you suggest, my guy's ready to do it. Yuri, here's what I would do. My recommendation. Yes, please. I want you to remember, this is the special envoy Steve Witkoff talking to the Russian diplomat on how to reach out to Donald Trump in these negotiations on the Ukraine war. I would make the call and just reiterate that you congratulate the president on this achievement, that you supported it. You supported it, that you respect that he is a man of peace, and you're really glad to have seen it happen. So I would say that. I think from that, it's going to be a really good call. What? How does this not just destroy someone's presidency? He's literally saying, hey, when Putin calls Trump, make sure he glazes Trump a little bit before. I think that will make Trump a lot more malleable towards your goals, a lot more easy to manipulate. Just remind him that, oh, sir, you're such a peaceful president, sir. You bring peace to the world. He's such a fucking toddler, bro. When they gave him the FIFA Peace Prize as well, and he's there like, this is one of the best moments of my life. Thank you for the FIFA Peace Prize. These people are manipulating him. Kamala Harris said it in the debate. These world leaders want you to win because they know they can manipulate you with flattery. Kamala Harris said that on the debate stage, and she somehow still lost the election. She was 1,000,000% correct on that. Because let me tell you what I told the president. I told the president that the Russian Federation has always wanted a peace deal. Yeah, guys, when I want to indicate to someone that I want a peace deal, I invade their country. That's how to signify peace 101. Everyone knows in geopolitics, the way that countries signify I want peace is they get their army and then they try to annex your territory. They invade your country. Yeah, okay, for sure. That's my belief. I told the president I believe that. And I believe the issue is, we have two nations that are having a hard time coming to a compromise. Like, dude, when someone tries to mug you on the street, they put a gun to your head, say, hey, give me your purse, give me your wallet. Why can't you guys just come to a compromise? They'll say, listen, dude, listen, I just want a peaceful resolution here. We have a difference of opinion. You would like to keep your wallet. I would like your wallet. Why don't we just come to a compromise? And then they click the gun real quick. Like, what are we doing here? I'm even thinking that maybe we set out a 20-point peace proposal, just like we did in Gaza. We put a 20-point Trump plan together. That was 20 points for peace. And I'm thinking maybe we do the same thing with you. It's this dude, like, you can't make a parody of this. SNL can't make a skit that's more outlandish than the actual real thing that's happening. The Boys has to keep delaying season 5. Because whatever they're writing for Homelander is going to end up being less crazy than this. Okay, my friend. I think that very point our leaders could discuss. Hey, Steve, I agree with you that he will congratulate. He will say that Trump is a real peace man, and so on and so on. Can you imagine if there was anything like this? Of not even Joe Biden's special envoy, if Joe Biden's sister's cousin's son's third grade teacher's first crush from third grade's wife's best friend at some point said that they were like pro-Ukraine or pro-China, they would cover that in Fox News and the Daily Wire and Newsmax and OAN from now till the end of time. What did Joe Biden know, and when did he know it? Was he coordinating his family enriching themselves and working with the Ukrainian government to try to interfere with geopolitics? Like, this is such a fucking joke, bro. That when they want to look for this evil, dangerous corruption in the Democratic Party, they're like, well, if you look at this scrap of paper on the lunar eclipse at a 17-degree angle with a microscope and you slightly squint your eyes, then what you'll see in Morse code is the instructions that Joe Biden gave Merrick Garland to politically persecute Donald Trump. Oh, well, Donald Trump just did like a Truth Social post where he said, hey, can you politically persecute my opponents? Same thing, liberal. Same thing. You guys put the cat out of the bag. You started this. We're just playing by your rules. Okay, bro. Okay. I don't even know how many people believe it at this point versus they're just in too deep at this point. Because being in MAGA is such an identity thing. It's such a like fuck you to the system that they can't even admit it at this point. It doesn't matter if he pardons Maxwell. He's already given her a cushy life. She was moved to a minimum security prison, which is not part of the what is it? Bureau of Prisons, right? The Bureau of Prisons, it's not their long-standing policy to send people convicted of child trafficking to a minimum security prison. She gets sent there. She gets special privileges. She gets a pet puppy. She gets extra meeting time with her lawyers where they're allowed to bring in laptops, internet accessible devices where she can We don't know who she's communicating with during those meetings. All the people that are at that minimum security prison are like, hey, this is really fucking annoying. Why is this pedophile getting special privileges? And no one talks about it. It's just one of those. Trump does a lot of stuff. Listen, Lib, he may not be perfect. No one's perfect. Are you saying you're perfect? This is what they say now. How do you feel about all the war crimes and corruption and authoritarianism? Dude, no one's perfect, okay? Everyone has their flaws. Oh, yeah. That's something you'd say if, like, your friend told you a white lie. That's not how you would respond to war crimes. This is not some, like, high school drama. You lied to your best friend and you went behind his back. No. This is not, oh, no one's perfect, his little personality. This is like international crimes. Domestic crimes, corruption, abuse of power. The destruction of the American experiment, dude. Grape isn't... Exactly. It's not even... Dude, even if all of this second-term stuff never happened, he still should be nowhere near... The stuff that Trump did in the 2016 Republican primary alone should have been disqualifying. But no, it's not just what he did in the 2016 Republican primary. It's what he did in the 2016 general, in his first term, in the 2020 general, after the 2020 general, in the 2022 midterms, 2024 Republican primary, 2024 general election, and now his second term. There are like 8 distinct periods of time where Trump has done things that should disqualify anyone from holding the office of the presidency. What about the Russia hoax? Oh, you mean the one where people were actually convicted of, like, meeting with Russians? Like, just because Trump didn't personally do it, that doesn't matter anymore? That the Russian government interfered with our election to benefit Trump? Here's the annoying thing. These people have labeled things hoaxes, and it's, like, entered the zeitgeist somehow. That, oh yeah, Russia, that was just a hoax. Jack Smith indictments, those were just a hoax. Why? Because Trump said so? If they're such a hoax, why don't you let Jack Smith testify on TV? Why not? I'm going to ask Rob this question, right? Here's something where we can find... I finally found something that MAGA and the people who hate MAGA most, we can stand together. Bipartisan unity. Everyone should agree that Jack Smith should testify publicly. On TV, under oath. And we should make it a huge spectacle. The entire world... All the American people should be tuning in to watch every second of Jack Smith's public testimony. MAGA should agree, right? Because from MAGA's perspective, all the tough Republican Congress people are going to say, hey, Mr. Smith, you radical left lunatic, why did you subpoena the phone records of all these Republicans? Mic drop. Checkmate, Lib. Why is it only Republicans who you subpoenaed? Seems like political persecution. How do you respond to that, Mr. Smith? Thank you, Congressperson. We subpoenaed the Republican politicians because they were engaged in phone calls with Donald Trump where they were discussing a criminal conspiracy to overturn the results of the election. Yo, cut to commercial. Like, let's do it. Let's air it out. Let's discuss the political persecutions of Donald Trump with the guy who led the charge. Everyone should be watching. All of the American people, let's tune in. This can resolve all the conflicts that have existed in our politics, right? This is where it all comes to a head. This is where the immovable force meets the unstoppable object. We're going to find... Someone's going to have to fold. Someone's going to be lying. Let's clear it up. Only the true believers want that. Everyone who's actually in the know, they do not want that. That's the last thing they want. Don't forget, guys, most transparent administration in history. And you know what? Hold on. On that note, hold on. Why is the DOJ not releasing Volume 2 of Jack Smith's special report? He had a bunch of evidence. He had a lot of evidence, phone calls, audio recordings, witnesses, a lot of evidence for those political persecutions. If it's all bullshit, why doesn't the DOJ just release Volume 2 of Jack Smith's special report and publicize it? He's been requesting it for months now. but they haven't released it. And there's no legal reason they can't release it. That's weird. I'm starting to notice a trend here where someone makes an accusation against the Trump administration, which by all accounts seems to be very true, and the Trump administration says that's not true, and then we go, you know what? We don't have to argue about this. There's evidence right there in that drawer that will clear this all up. One of us is lying, one of us isn't. Can we just get the key to that drawer and get the evidence? Sorry, we got to redact that. We actually can't show that to you. Nothing to hide here. It's a joke. It's pathetic. That's why there's no one in the guest requests. There's nothing to defend here. There's nothing. A random person 028, actually. Are you a Trump supporter in my guest requests right now? Could it be?
The 2020
Yes? Okay. First, let's watch this real quick.
election is back in the spotlight. For the very first time, we can hear for ourselves a recording of a phone call in December of 2020 between President Donald Trump and then Speaker of the Georgia House of Representatives, David Ralston.
In it, President Trump asked Ralston, a fellow Republican, to call a special session, a move that could have opened the door to efforts to reverse the results of Georgia's presidential election after Joe Biden beat Trump by a narrow margin. Here's some of that recording published by the...
Also, by the way, Joe Biden did not beat Donald Trump by a narrow margin. He won by like 8 million votes. He won every single swing state, and he flipped Georgia blue for the first time in decades. And he also got over 50% of the vote. I only bring that up because MAGA loves to act like Trump getting 49% of the vote and winning by like less than 2 points is a mandate. If that's a mandate, I don't know what Joe Biden got in 2020, but it was orders of magnitude bigger than Trump's victory here. So just don't forget that.
New York Times.
You do it to uncover fraud. You could say for transparency and to uncover fraud.
See, these people don't believe that there was actually fraud. They just said, he's saying it here, listen, just use the pretext of fraud. Just say it's because of fraud, and then let's change the numbers, okay?
Possible fraud.
Because he's saying, and before some MAGA person saying, no, he's just saying he wants to investigate the fraud. He's not asking to investigate anything here. You understand that, right? He's asking for a special session of the Georgia House of Representatives so that they can change the Georgia electors to Trump electors instead of Biden electors, and then send them to D.C. to certify Trump as the president. So what he's saying here is, hey, just claim fraud and then change the results. I don't know what more I can do here. Like,
Transparency and to uncover fraud. Possible fraud. So who's going to stop you for that? You know, it's like possible fraud. So who's going to stop you for that? You know, it's like
A federal judge, possibly.
a judge, the law, following the law is going to stop me from that, actually? How are there still Trump supporters when audio like this exists? How? There's nothing like this from any of the right's villains. Hunter Biden, Joe Biden, Hillary Clinton, Barack Obama. And not to say these people are without scandal. They all have scandals here. But again, it's not just comparing apples to oranges. It's comparing apples to nuclear weapons. Like, we can't just both sides this shit. Oh, both parties do bad things. Sometimes Democrats don't expand healthcare enough. And sometimes Republicans try to overturn election results. What? That's not a both sides thing. Like, what are you saying here?
fraud. Possible fraud. So who's going to...
He even says, who's going to stop you for that, dude? If you just claim it's for security reasons and you have a strong enough pretext, you can do anything. It's almost like he knows that if you lie and claim fake states of emergency and claim fake crises, you can use them as vehicles for power grabs. Like when Trump says there's a national emergency, therefore we need to do tariffs. Like when he says, oh, these people are terrorists, we have to bomb boats off the coast of Venezuela. It's almost like he knows and has a pattern of saying, if we just lie and make up a fake crisis, we can use that as an excuse to just expand executive power.
stop you for that? You know, it's like...
A federal judge,
He's laughing at Trump.
possibly.
The Georgia House Speaker said on the call that his team was evaluating its options.
Does
but
everyone
ultimately-
remember, dude? Also, like the... Oh my God. The Trump-Raffensperger call?
Counting next to that came down existing votes. And,
Like, this... Every single Kamala Harris ad in 2024 should have just been this clip. And by the way, this is not the one where he says, all I need is 10,000 votes. That's the clip that became popular from this. There's a separate clip from this phone call that didn't get much publicity that I think is the most damning part of this phone call. And it's this. Huh? He admits it's corruption. He's not saying, "Oh, I'm worried about." He's like, "Guys, come on, give me a break. Just give me the 11,000 votes." Like, this is how Trump views government. He doesn't understand the importance of institutions or checks and balances. Trump's governing philosophy is this: if I want something to happen, it should happen. Anyone who gets in the way of me and that thing happening, whether it's the court, the law, the Congress, the will of the American people, that's an obstacle to crush and get out of my way. And the Republican Party is not a political party. These are my goons. These are my foot soldiers. That's how he views Republican politicians. Hey, dude, you want my endorsement in next year's primary? You better get on Twitter right now and start telling everyone it's rigged. And Marjorie Taylor Greene admits this, by the way. Hold on.
I'm going to ask you about this almost solid support he has among Republicans in Congress. Is there in that support fear? Does the support come about because they're afraid that they'll get death threats?
I think they're terrified to step out of line and get a nasty Truth Social post on them. Yes.
And they're
Because, again, this is how Trump views it. Everything's transactional, and the goal of everything is, how can this be leveraged to either make me more powerful, make me look good, or hurt someone I don't like? That is it. Make me more powerful, make me look good, or hurt someone I don't like. That is all Trump cares about in any given context of any political issue. And he doesn't understand I'm part of one branch. There's 3 branches of government. I can't just unilaterally start arresting people for expressing opinions, or arresting U.S. citizens, or detaining legal documented asylum seekers by ambushing them at courts. I can't just do that. The Republicans don't owe me loyalty. They owe me maybe some like political capital in Congress if we have interests in common. He views stuff like a mob boss, like he's part of the mafia or something. Like, this is literally a criminal family, a criminal organization that has taken... It's not just like... Democrats sometimes downplay, oh, Trump's just this incompetent, silly, goofy guy. No, this is like a crime syndicate that has taken over the most powerful country on earth and tried to coup the government a few years ago. And we're just acting like, oh yeah, politics as usual. Let's debate, guys. It's just America now. No, we're in the midst of an authoritarian criminal takeover. And these people know.
Terrified to step out of line and get a nasty Truth Social post on them. Yes.
and they're watching what happened to you.
Yes.
Behind the scenes, do they
Oh, wait.
talk?
Oops. I don't know why my display capture isn't refreshing. Restart capture on YouTube. If anyone understands how this works, where my display capture randomly freezes and I have to go in the properties and reset it. There we go.
I'm going to ask you about this almost solid support he has among Republicans in Congress. Is there in that support fear? does the support come about because they're afraid that they'll get death threats?
I think they're terrified to step out of line and get a nasty Truth Social post on them. Yes.
And they're watching what happened to you.
Yes.
Behind the scenes, do they talk differently?
Yes.
How?
Oh, it would shock people.
Well, let's shock people.
Okay. I watched many of my colleagues go from making fun of him, making fun of how he talks,
That's the 2016 phase, right? Trump's running in the Republican primary. The entire Paul Ryan establishment is like, this guy, this weirdo, what a joke. We don't have to take him seriously. Let's just focus on Cruz and Rubio and Bush and like our front runners. This Trump guy, he's not going to make it, right? So it starts with dismissal and not taking him seriously.
fun of me constantly for supporting him to when he won the primary in 2024, they all started, excuse my language, Leslie, kissing his ass.
In 2016, they were a lot more measured. They didn't fully kiss his ass. They were like, yeah, we'll back him. But Paul Ryan very publicly said, like, there's a lot of stuff I don't really like about Trump, but like, hey, we can kind of come together on like cutting taxes for the wealthy and hawkish foreign policy. So, you know, I'm fine with having him there. So you see Republicans first saying Trump's a joke. Then when Trump starts gaining steam in the Republican primary, Marco Rubio, Jeb Bush, Ted Cruz are all like, hey, this guy's a narcissist. He's a con artist. He's a criminal. He's a threat to democracy. They were right back then, right? Because Trump didn't have any entrenched political capital in the Republican Party. So then they were honest. Criminal, narcissist, authoritarian. But then Trump wins their nomination. And they're like, okay, maybe he says silly stuff on Twitter sometimes, guys, but like we're cutting taxes and that's all that really matters to us, so whatever. And then January 6th rolls around. All of a sudden, they realize they've been sticking their neck out for Trump, and Trump does not give a fuck about them. He sees them as political tools to advance his own agenda. Kevin McCarthy, the Republican leader of the House, is hiding under a fucking desk in the Capitol building during January 6th, and then he's on the phone with Trump in the midst of the riot, and he says, "What is this, bro? Call your people off. Tell them to leave." What does Trump respond? Verbatim. "Well, Kevin, I guess these people are a lot more upset about the election than you are." Literal mob boss, mafia boss, criminal mastermind type shit to say to someone. Well, buddy, I understand you're afraid for your life and all, but these people are upset that I didn't win the election, so what are you going to do about that? This is the day they're certifying the election, right? So he's applying pressure there, using violence to overturn the results. That's an attempted coup. That is a coup attempt. It's called an auto coup or a self coup. So, and on that day, Republicans, their illusion's broken, right? You see all these Republicans, including Mitch McConnell, including Marco Rubio, including Mitt Romney, all these people, from the rhinos to even the MAGA Republicans, they say, we hold Trump responsible. He incited this riot. He needs to go. Ben Shapiro makes a video on January 7th saying, this is the worst thing to happen to America since 9/11. And all the Republicans understand the Trump thing's over. His political career is over. We got to jump ship. We got to move forward. Ron DeSantis, that's our guy. We're leaving the MAGA train behind us. Because he's unhinged, he's dangerous, he's not competent. And they thought we'd all just forget and they could just move on and act like they never... Trump? Who's Trump? I don't know who Trump is. But then he wins the Republican primary. And they're like, oops. I guess after saying that he incited a riot, I now have to support him. A lot of the same people who said Trump caused this, they endorsed him a few years later and claimed, oh, January 6th wasn't a big deal. Well, why didn't you do that in the moment then? In the moment, you seemed a lot more clear-eyed about what's happening here. Now when it's politically advantageous, all of a sudden, you're back on the Trump train. And they have to be held responsible for that. A lot of Republicans in 2024 knew exactly what they were endorsing, and they still did it purely for political power. That is it. Purely because the Dems can't win, we can't let the Dems win. That's all it was. And now they're seeing, is Trump in the Epstein files? Is Trump consistently breaking the law? Is Trump threatening people with death? Is Trump gloating about the death of Rob Reiner? This is going to hurt us a lot. Ooh, these power grabs, these videos of ICE violating people's civil rights, these redactions from the Epstein files, which, by the way, just to be clear, there are multiple Republicans in the House who believe that Donald Trump is a PDF file. They believe it. You know why? There were allegations from Michael Wolff that there are photos of Donald Trump in the Epstein files where there are topless girls sitting in his lap, and those girls are of an age that is not befitting to be sitting in Donald Trump's lap, let's say. I don't want to get the live taken down. There's allegations of pictures like that existing. And Pam Bondi's asked about that under oath in the hearings. Excuse me, Attorney General Bondi, did you guys find any images of Trump with minors who are like not wearing clothes? She doesn't answer the question. She doesn't say no. Why the fuck would you not say no to that? That's such an easy slam dunk if it's true. The only reason you wouldn't say no is if the answer is yes and you're under penalty of perjury. Right? Anyone have any other theories for that? And there was reporting that after that hearing with Pam Bondi, a lot of House Republicans started getting really uneasy. Like, whoa, what exactly have we hitched our wagon to here? What exactly are we a part of right now? And they all started trying to get ahead of it. They all voted to release the Epstein thing. They all voted for the discharge petition, Senate and House, to get ahead of it because they know what's in it. They know what's happening. Same thing with the Rob Reiner comments. When Trump tweets that unhinged, insane thing about Rob Reiner, dude, a reporter literally pulled up on Mike Johnson and they were like, hey, what do you think about what Trump said? Mike Johnson just starts fucking running like Usain Bolt. Like he's out of there. They know. They know they're cooked. They're looking for an escape hatch. MTG is smart. She escaped a little bit early. So it doesn't look fully opportunistic for her. It is. A lot of them are going to cling on till the bitter end. And then only when the boat is fully underwater will they start begging for a life raft. Let them sink. It gets to a point, dude. It's like, what are we even doing here at this point? This isn't a political disagreement. This isn't like... If you went back to 2012, okay? Not too long ago, not the fucking prehistoric or Cretaceous era, 2012, right? Go back to 2012 and ask... pull 100 people out of the American public at random. Randomize people, okay? From the American public in 2012 and tell them, okay... Hypothetically, if you had a president who tried to do a coup, who broke multiple laws, who called for the arrest and death of his political opponents, all in public, how do you think the American people would respond to that? All 100 people you selected would say, oh, no one would vote for that guy. His opponent would win like 99% of the vote and he'd go to jail. That's what they would say. But then when it actually happens, apparently 35% of the country is still okay with this. He's not in jail. He won re-election. So something's fucking wrong with this country on a very deep psychological level. Almost on like a spiritual level, something is wrong with the psyche of this country. And it's very dangerous. It's very dark. It's very depraved. It's very zero-sum and tribal. We're the in-group. This out-group is coming to hurt us. We have to hurt them first. Trump's solution to every problem is this. Here's a problem you're facing. Okay, true. Here's an out-group. Okay, that is an out-group. That out-group is responsible for all the problems you're facing. Don't worry. If you vote for me, I'll hurt the out-group publicly. We'll humiliate the out-group. We'll punish the out-group. And that will make the problems go away. A very old tactic, very human, like playing to people's fears, exploiting their legitimate grievances by playing to their fears and their ignorance. But to see it on this scale is very, very disturbing. This is not normal that the country is like at all okay with this in any facet. The fact that anyone is willing to debate in favor of Trump is a problem. And by the way, it's not just a problem of MAGA. Whatever the status quo was before MAGA clearly was not built to handle this. So that system had to go. A system is only as good as its durability. Whatever the status quo system was pre-Trump, which had flaws, money has still had influence on politics. American foreign policy was still too hawkish. Our social safety nets were still not big enough. Our tax system was still not optimized. But still, generally speaking, you didn't have this level of overt corruption. You didn't have this level of authoritarianism. We've gotten worse. We've backslid. People pointed out legitimate criticisms of the status quo, but they kind of forgot that the status quo also has some good stuff, right? The status quo also has some good stuff baked into it, like the civil rights movement, like gay marriage being legalized by the Supreme Court, things that we kind of started to take for granted. That like the president has a limit on his power. There's 3 co-equal branches of government. We didn't focus on that stuff. We only focused on all the flaws with our institutions, which is fair. But then we kind of took all that good stuff for granted. And then Trump comes in and says, hey, look at all these flaws with the system. I'm going to destroy the whole system. Now we're learning, actually, the system had some good stuff in it. But we're also learning whatever that system was clearly is not strong enough to prevent a Trump-like figure. So whatever comes after Trump has to be designed with that in mind. Oh man, this guy's really chomping at the bit to get on. Okay. Hold your horses, dude. I got you. This guy really wants to debate. I'm curious what he's going to have to say, but... Hey, how old are you?
I am. Sorry. I'm 19. I turned 18 around, I think, like right before the elections in 2024. They were, I think. Was it? I don't know exactly because
Okay. That's fine. Do you disagree with any of the prompts above me on the screen?
I can't really read them. I'm sorry, but can you read them to me,
The
please?
first prompt is Trump is corrupt. Do you disagree with that?
Nope.
You agree he's corrupt?
No. I don't agree. I mean, I agree he is corrupt. Yeah.
Okay, so we agree on that. Democrats are better for the economy. Do we agree on that?
I don't really know because I have yeah, I don't really know. I'm not sure.
Do you
I
disagree
have
that
no
Trump's
idea.
an authoritarian? I think he's an authoritarian.
Oh yeah, I definitely agree with that. But
You
the
agree
reason
with
why,
me that he's an authoritarian?
yes,
Did you want to debate?
yeah. So my whole point of asking
Uh-huh.
was because my parents, they are well, they support Trump, so I was asking. My main question is why? Because
You just cut off.
oh, sorry, but
Your
from
main
what I
question is
see,
what?
I don't see why anyone would want to report him. I mean, I can't speak, sorry. Why anyone would want to elect him into the office. I just want to know why.
I agree. It makes no sense. But again, when it comes to 2024, the reality is this. People were upset about the cumulative inflation that took place after COVID, which, to explain what that is real quick, we often talk about inflation in the wrong terms. The inflation rate is just how much did prices increase in this given span of time, right? So the annual inflation rate is from the beginning of the year to the end of the year, by what percentage did prices increase, right? What we don't talk about, though, is that inflation is cumulative, meaning if I have 8% inflation one year and 5% the next year, if in years 3 and 4 I get it back down to 2%, the rate of the increase in prices has gone down, but the actual price increase that came from the 8% and the 6%, that's now baked into the cake. And in many cases, wages are not keeping up with that. And the economic distribution is like not very fair. So that is ultimately why Trump won. Whoever was going to be the incumbent in 2024 was going to lose. If Trump won 2020, Democrats would have won 2024. That's just what the situation was. So I actually don't hate people who voted for Trump in 2024. I think a lot of these people are ignorant and they don't really pay attention to politics, but I don't think they're malicious. I think a lot of our political issues are not malice or hate. That definitely exists, don't get me wrong, but I think the bulk of it is ignorance and lack of education, which is, there's a reason Republicans want to gut our education system. There's a reason for that. Host is too kind. I don't think so. I mean, I genuinely don't believe that 77 million people are pro-authoritarianism and genuinely racist. I do not believe that. I believe they can be conned into voting for people that support that stuff if their engagement with politics is like Twitter headlines and YouTube videos, right? Like, think about this, right? The reason the working class voted for Trump is like they're living day to day. They're worried about making ends meet. Am I paying my car note? Am I paying my rent? Am I picking up my kids on time? I'm working super long hours. Maybe I'm a single mother, right? They're caught up with their day-to-day life. And they're like, damn, prices are high as fuck right now. What the hell is this? Why are eggs costing so much? And they're like, isn't this what politics is supposed to solve? And they go on TikTok, they go on Reels, they go on YouTube, and they see someone like Charlie Kirk or something, or someone like Patrick Bet-David, or Trump on the Andrew Schultz podcast saying, yeah, the Biden people are raising prices. I'm going to cut prices. And say what you will about Trump, he speaks with conviction. He's not like boring. He's very animated. He has a lot more energy to him. And then you watch Biden there, like, the economy is doing great. So is my brain. Like, and they're like, this Biden guy, I voted for him in 2020 because Trump seemed kind of unhinged, but it seems like this Biden guy's not really there mentally. And it seems like he's not taking the economy seriously when he talks about it. This Trump guy, though, he's screaming at the top of his lungs that the status quo is horrible and it needs to change. I agree. The status quo for me is high prices. And then they vote for him. And then he actually starts governing. And they're like, I do not like this. This is not what I was voting for. I didn't really pay much attention. I just thought he was going to lower prices. I thought he was like the business guy. I kind of missed the 2019 vibes of the economy. And now I'm realizing all that unhinged stuff that he says, it's also how he governs, right? And I've made this analogy before of the perfect encapsulation of the American people, their response to Trump's winning in 2024. Okay. This is how the American people feel after electing Donald Trump in 2024 and now 10, 11 months out, seeing how he's done.
Wait a minute. I hate golf.
Like, the second they actually experience governance from Trump, they're like, oh yeah, I voted against this guy in 2020. He's fucking unhinged and stupid and has horrible policy and is like malicious and bad faith and destructive to our institutions and a bad role model for society. Which is why you see when Trump first comes in, his approval rating is like close to 50%, which is fucking terrifying. But now it's in the mid 30s. And say what you will about Trump's second administration, one thing is true. Trump has had a lot more discretion and has been able to get a lot more done that he wanted to get done in his second term compared to his first term. Trump's first cabinet kind of saved him from a lot of bullshit. Because they were still right-wing Republicans who were wrong on everything, but they were institutionalists. Meaning that when Trump says, ignore the courts, shoot protesters in the leg, they're like, hey, dude, there's still like a legal process here. There's still other branches of government. So like, sure, we love tax cuts for the wealthy and all, but we can't really be stealing elections and stuff. We can't really be shooting peaceful protesters. It's not allowed. And because of that, the right loves to say, it's just rhetoric with Trump. He was president for one term. He didn't do anything. This is what we heard so much in 2024, right? If Trump was going to do all this stuff, he would have done it by now. No, because he came in the first time not thinking he was going to win, being surrounded by career institutionalists and civil servants who, for all their flaws ideologically, still believed in basic rule of law. And he was kind of caught disoriented and off guard, and he didn't really have an effective governance. But what happened since then? He tried to do a coup, a haphazard, he slapped it together last minute. He tried to do a coup, it failed. You don't think that he spent the last 4 years learning what went wrong the first time and how to be more effective next time? The first time I tried to do a coup, my attorney general told me he wasn't going to lie and claim that there was election fraud if there wasn't actually election fraud. That's kind of a problem. Next time, I'll appoint an attorney general who says whatever the fuck I want them to say. That's one problem solved. All the senior DOJ leadership said, if I try to stay in power, they're going to resign en masse and expose me. I know. Next time, I'll just fire them all on day one and replace them with loyalists who love me and will do whatever I want. What does he learn over the course of his first term? Checks and balances hold back my agenda. The law holds back my agenda. So now I have to find out how to undermine checks and balances and how to get away with breaking the law. That way I can be very effective with what I want to do. What is it that I want to do? I want to make myself look super, super cool, super, super successful. And anyone who ever doubted me, I want to make their life hell. That's all it is. Everything they've done can be chalked up to that. Anything ideological on top of that is because people in his cabinet are like, ooh, this is a really easy ticket to power. He's cognitively declining. His brain is literally melting and dripping out of his ears. You can see him. Looks like he's melting out of his dentures. The most solid part of Trump is his fucking dentures. The rest of him is falling apart at the seams mentally and physically. We're seeing it in every single day in front of our eyes. And these people like Stephen Miller and Russ Vought, you think Russ Vought, the man who is more so an evil genius than an evil idiot, who has Project 2025 plans of like, how are we going to gut the social safety nets? How are we going to make the president unilaterally powerful? You think that they find Trump to be uniquely good at governing or uniquely intelligent or compelling in any way? No, he's an easy mark. All Stephen Miller has to do when he wants to do a new immigration policy is he makes Trump think it's his idea. Oh, Sir Trump, we're hearing rumblings on Truth Social that if you do this policy of going after documented asylum seekers and having immigration quotas, everyone's going to love it, sir. You were such a genius, sir, when you came up with that idea. And Trump's like, huh, I did come up with that idea, didn't I? Yeah. Like that's literally what's happening. Which is why when they ask Trump, sir, why is your administration doing this? What is his response? Literally always, I've heard nothing about it. I don't know what that is. He's not lying. He does not know what is going on. He sits there. His cabinet, it's like the emperor has no clothes. His cabinet comes to him like, oh, sir, such a massive success for you again, sir. Radical left lunatics owned and cooked and destroyed. Again, as always. Meanwhile, he's like, okay, yeah, I'm going to delegate all the power to you. Go figure it out and give me credit at the end. And then they use their proximity to Trump to advance their own agendas and then lay the blame at the feet of Trump because Trump nominally is like, yeah, sure, I support that. Trump doesn't understand policy. Trump doesn't understand anything. He's literally a toddler. I made a list of this because it's so egregious. It's not just a meme to say that Trump is being kept pacified by shiny objects. Single-handedly, you can control Trump with shiny objects. I'm not exaggerating. Let me give you a list. I have an actual list here. How do I find and document? Yeah. Okay. This is not even covering the whole gamut. We have the FIFA Peace Prize. We have the 24-karat gold plaque from Tim Cook. We have the 24-karat gold bar given to him by the Swiss. The South Koreans gave him a crown. And that is just the ones I wrote down. There are literally half a dozen more examples of CEOs, heads of state, who are engaging in very high-stakes negotiation with Trump, and they open the meeting by giving him a very shiny trinket. And he loves it. And he thinks that's a concession, by the way. And you know when these people say Trump's like the master deal maker, the master negotiation? You know what that actually is, right? Trump levies a 15% tariff on the EU, which fucks our economy and fucks their economy. Then he goes to negotiate with the EU people. And he's like, listen, your country's treated us very unfairly. Treat us fairly. And then the EU people are like, sir, yes, you're so successful. You're doing an awesome job. It's going to be huge. We are willing, sir, if you lift these tariffs, sir, to not only give you, sir, this golden bar, but we are committing here and now 10 quintillion billion gazillion dollars of investment to the United States, sir. And Trump's like, boom, art of the deal. I win. fuck yes. And then he goes back to America and he does this whole victory parade where he's like, they were so scared of my tariffs and my negotiation tactic worked. They've committed $1 million, trillion, billion, gazillion dollars. And if you don't believe me, look at the shiny thing they gave me. Very shiny, isn't it? That is literally it. And then you do some due diligence. Hey, EU, that money that you committed to investing that, are those like public sector dollars? No, that's kind of just like our thoughts and prayers. Like that's what we hope private sector investment maybe does in the best case scenario. But it's actually not binding. There's no actual commitment of anything here. They just kind of told him, oh yeah, we'd love to give you a bunch of money, sir. And to him, that's I don't know if people remember this. Trade deals are supposed to be like literally thousands of pages long. And they go like sector by sector. They have labor standards. If you want to trade with us, you have to make sure you allow your people in this sector to get paid at least this much so you're competitive with our sectors. And you have to allow free movement of these things, but not these things. Like trade deals are, surprise, very complicated and very long. Posting on Truth Social, big tariff unless. And then you get a gift and say, okay, no more tariff. That's not a trade deal. That's you getting played by other world leaders. And everyone can see it, and it's really fucking embarrassing. Above all else, I'm not only ashamed to be American right now, I'm embarrassed. It's really, really embarrassing. Like, it gets to a point, dude, that I don't understand how anyone still supports this guy. And yeah, you know what? A lot of people
wonder why I'm so mad about the gambling.
A lot of people
wonder
don't
why I'm
know, hold on, how bad this corruption is.
Trump just...
I don't know how many people have seen this. I bring this up all the time. This is unhinged. This is insane. This CoffeeZilla video should be blasted on every Jumbotron in the entire country.
Trump just pardoned CZ, the founder of Binance. Bro, I am so cooked. My career is over. Worst time to be involved in fraud catching in the world, bro. There is just a pay to pardon going on here. Look, I got the whole timeline in front of me. I'm going to go through it. Let me just tell you my mindset. It's rough out here for CoffeeZilla. Whether or not you're a stan of the Trump family, it doesn't matter. I mean, this is just straight up corruption, which we should be all against, right? Should not be a political issue. Unfortunately, increasingly, politicians are involved in these huge crypto self-dealing deals, but I am not injecting politics into this, okay? It just so happens that they happen to be in positions of power, but don't worry about that, right? Just look at the facts, please, for a moment. It all starts November 21st, 2023, okay? Binance and Changpeng Zhao both plead guilty in a historic $4 billion plea deal, where basically they admitted they didn't really have anti-money laundering controls, and they kind of willfully looked the other way, specifically in regards to people they probably should have not allowed them to use their platform, such as, according to the charges, terrorists, cyber criminals, and child abusers.
So just to be clear, very serious charges, right? Very serious charges. I want to go, we have to be surgical here, because this shit is so, this may be the biggest corruption scheme in American history. Maybe in modern world history, if we're being honest. Trump 60 Minutes.
To basically...
Okay, so just to be clear, we've all established CZ and Binance faced criminal charges for a very legitimate reason, which is that their platform was being used for money laundering for actual cyber crimes and trafficking and terrorism. Very serious. Maybe this is controversial, okay? I think cybercrime, terrorism, and trafficking are bad, and I think money laundering for those things is bad, and you should face criminal charges for that. Maybe that's crazy, okay? Maybe not something you should pardon someone for. But I don't want to have Trump derangement syndrome. Let's hear what Trump has. Let him speak for himself. What did he have to say about this pardon?
Witkoff family,
Right.
helping to make your family millions of dollars. It's in that context that I do want to ask you about crypto's richest man, a billionaire known as CZ. He pled guilty in 2023 to violating anti-money laundering laws.
Right.
The government at the time said that CZ had caused significant harm to U.S. national security, essentially by allowing
National security. What a fucking woke liberal propaganda word.
terrorist groups like Hamas to move millions of dollars around. Why did you pardon him?
Okay, are you ready? I don't know who he is.
Are these the same people that are crying about Biden's auto pen? Biden used the auto pen on DocuSign for some of his pardons. He didn't even know who he was pardoning. Okay, this guy, he doesn't know any. Are you ready? What is this, fucking SpongeBob theme song? What do you mean, are you ready?
Move millions of dollars around. Why did you pardon him?
Okay, are you ready? I don't know who he is.
Anyways, back to the corruption scheme.
Which, you probably should block those people from using your platform. Now, on April 30th, 2024, Zhao is officially sentenced to 4 months of prison. And of course, a few months later, Donald Trump takes office, wins the presidency, okay? And while he's winning the presidency, he also announces the launch of something called World Liberty Financial, which is kind of their big crypto project entry. And this will become important in a moment. But before we get to that, let's just talk about something that happens on March 12th, 2025. This is about a year after he gets sentenced to prison. All of a sudden, you have a big investor come in and put tons of money into Binance. It's a company called MGX, and they invest a $2 billion stake into Binance. And specifically, they say they're going to do it in crypto. What kind of crypto is not announced. Now, the next day, it's reported by the Wall Street Journal that Binance has been reaching out to allies of Trump since the year before in talks to strike a business deal with the family as part of a return of the exiled company to the U.S. It says the possibilities include the Trumps taking a stake in Binance or the deal going through World Liberty Financial. So already you're hearing little rumblings that,
the quid pro quo is there, okay? Binance, who again, them and their CEO, I think he was, or one of their head people, CZ, found guilty of actual horrible money laundering stuff for very dangerous criminal organizations. They are lobbying the Trump family saying, hey, if you guys are willing to be a little bit chill with us, we're willing to make a deal.
Maybe they're trying to do a special deal with Binance, and pretty soon we're going to hear talks of the pardon come up. But while that's happening, March 25th, 2025,
And then again, Binance, same criminal company, Abu Dhabi, the UAE is like, hey, we're going to invest $2 billion in you, Binance. And they're going to make the deal. They're going to make this investment into Binance with a cryptocurrency. Which cryptocurrency, you might ask? Let's see.
Financial announces a stablecoin. Now, if you don't know, stablecoins are like this incredible business. World Liberty Financial announces a stablecoin. Now, if you don't know,
interesting. So the Trump team's crypto company that just launched a stablecoin that can be used to facilitate transactions like its currency. That's interesting.
Coins are like this incredible business because you just farm a bunch of yield from treasury bills while people use your stablecoins. The major players are USDT and USDC. It's important to note it's incredibly hard to launch a stablecoin. People don't like using new stablecoins. And so when they launched, a lot of people thought, well, how are they going to get off the ground from nothing? I mean, yes.
Right, this is really important here, right? Stablecoins, there's already a couple really big ones that are pretty much used for all stablecoin transactions, and entering the market of a stablecoin as a relatively unknown thing is not really a great recipe for success. Why is anyone going to make purchases or investments using your brand new stablecoin when there are way more established ones with way higher market caps? Weird business to get into. I wonder why.
President stablecoin, but what are they going to do to really make a splash? Well, we got the answer on May 1st, 2025, because it turns out that Abu Dhabi investment into Binance, that $2 billion deal, it was all done through USD1. Now, there's no reason to do it in this.
USD1, that's the stablecoin that World Liberty Financial, the Trump family, released. That prior to this deal had a market cap of only $100 billion. No one was really using it. But then all of a sudden, for no real reason, there's really no logic behind this, Abu Dhabi they buy $2 billion of that stablecoin and then use it to invest in Binance, this criminal. Okay, interesting. I wonder what's connecting all this.
Currency, you could have done it in BNB. That would actually make a lot more sense. Put it in Binance's own crypto coin. No,
Binance has their own crypto coin, but for some reason they're like, we're going to do this transaction in the Trump coin for some reason. Huh.
The only reason you would do it in USD1 is to really help out one person or one player, which is World Liberty Financial, which is Trump's crypto project. Because, of course, as we said, these stablecoins are backed by treasuries. And unless you redeem the $2 billion, if you just hold it in USD1, what you're doing is de facto making the World Liberty Financial Group about $60 to $80 million a year. Because they're just farming the yield from the treasuries at 3 to 4%.
I'm sure there's no conflict of interest with this deal with a criminal company and a foreign government being done with a currency that nets the Trump administration tens of millions of dollars a year. I'm sure that's just liberal propaganda.
Right. So it's $60 to $80 million in risk-free revenue for World Liberty Financial just due to the fact that this $2 billion deal was put in USD1. Very curious, right? Why would they do that except to maybe curry favor? Well, a few days later, Binance, CZ, announces that he applied for a Trump pardon, right?
Coincidence. What a crazy coincidence. He's just applying for a pardon. He just happens to exactly 1 week after.
Interesting timing, right? Right as they're announcing that it was all done in USD1. The next month, World Liberty Financial announces they're partnering with PancakeSwap and they're doing a $1 million reward trading campaign to increase USD1 usage. Now, of course, this is all once again associated with Binance. Now, on September 15th, 2025, we all of a sudden hear that there may have been some favors being done, or at least the appearance of favors being done in that big deal, where the $2 billion investment, as I said, part of it was MGX. Now, what was discovered by the New York Times is that right at the time that they were making this big investment into Binance, of course, which benefits World Liberty Financial immensely, they all of a sudden get access to a bunch of special AI chips. This is according to the New York Times. One of the Sheik's investment firms would deposit $2 billion into World Liberty Financial, a startup founded by the Witkoffs and Trumps. 2 weeks later, the White House agreed to allow the UAE access to hundreds of thousands of the world's...
So let me get this straight. This silly liberal propagandist who clearly has TDS wants us to believe, us patriots to believe, that this is somehow corrupt just because a foreign government used Trump's crypto to invest in a private company, and then that same foreign government that bought Trump's crypto was very shortly after given access to extremely rare AI chips, and then the CEO of the company they gave the Trump coin to was asking for a pardon.
Most advanced and scarce computer chips, a crucial tool for the high-stakes race to dominate artificial intelligence. Many of the chips would go to G42, controlled by the same Sheik. Interesting. So one side of that deal got a benefit, right? MGX. Now, of course, there are a bunch of disclaimers in this piece that, everybody's saying that there was no conflict of interest. This just sort of happened to work out. The official quote is that the deal was totally unrelated to any government business. But
shit, guys, my bad. My bad. I didn't realize that they said nuh-uh. That changes everything. Holy shit. Maybe this isn't corruption.
Now we know one side of the deal, MGX, got something. And now the question is, what does Binance get out of holding this USD1, right? Why don't they just redeem it for cash? Why don't they just put the money into stablecoins themselves, farm the yield themselves, that $60 to $80 million? 11th, remember we had that hyper-liquid whale that we were saying, maybe insider trading with the whole timing of the Trump tweet? Well, interestingly, they are linked to a Polymarket account called Big Winner 01. And a couple weeks ago, they started betting on will Trump pardon Changpeng Zhao in 2025. Which was a really kind of like wild bet at the time, like by the end of 2025, because there were only a couple months left, right? But then all of a sudden, of course, October 23rd, 2025, we get the last leg of this deal. Trump, of course, pardons convicted Binance founder. And it's important to note, once again, just like the MGX deal, the White House is, of course, denying that it had anything to do with some of these crypto deals. Instead, White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt says that Trump...
What are we doing here, bro? Trump family launches a stable coin. Foreign government says we're going to use that stablecoin to invest in a private company. Them doing that is profitable for the Trump administration to the tune of tens of millions, and also gives special government access and favors to the people that bought the coin. And we just didn't really talk about, I guess we just had to move on from this. This was in the news cycle for 2 days, maybe.
Exercised his constitutional authority in issuing a pardon, who was prosecuted by the Biden administration.
This was a month ago. How many people here had heard about this? Of the 270-something odd people in here, how many people had heard about this to this extent, like fully understanding the causal link here, before this? Because when I just think to the last administration, I feel like I was told what Joe Biden ate for breakfast, and I was told every single individual brain cell in his head that died day by day. So I would assume that the media is... Not me, not me. We got two me's. Not fully, but yes. Not me, not to this extent. Not, Liberal, mainstream, lamestream, biased media who is out to get Trump, but somehow isn't properly publicizing the extent of Trump's crimes and corruption? That doesn't seem very mainstream, lamestream of them. It's almost like the media is biased in favor of MAGA. But no, that doesn't work, though, because then their narrative would be bullshit, and that can't be. Right? It's almost like a couple of these factual realities. If a Trump supporter was to accept them, it would shatter their entire epistemic worldview. It can't be that the media is biased in favor of Trump. It can't be that actually the deep state, the unelected bureaucrats that are destroying our government and profiting off it, is the Trump administration. That can't be. Are you telling me that every single thing they ever accused the left of was just them predicting what they were going to do themselves? It was a preview? It was a projection? Hold on.
is that the actual charges had nothing to do with like politics. Instead, all the charges were related to anti-money laundering and allowing money to go to basically criminals. They had chats from the chief compliance officer.
Voidzilla. It's CoffeeZilla's like backup. This guy's really good at uncovering crypto scams, which if you think this one's bad, I got another one for you guys.
Of Binance noting that they should probably not allow money to...
I have one that's like a lot more straightforward to follow. Yeah.
Till 1 minute.
Also unhinged and insane. I don't know how many people have heard about this one.
Welcome to an $190 million insider trading analysis. Someone made $190 million while the crypto markets were crashing yesterday in light of tariffs that seem to have been preempted by a very specific trader. We're going to get into it. I want to be clear that I'm not accusing anyone of a crime here. Insider trading specifically relates to securities. We've been pretty clear that crypto, especially Bitcoin and Ethereum, are not securities. So I don't even know what this is. I think this is all legal, kind of. I don't think it should be, as you'll see. But the question is, what did this guy know? Okay, how did somebody make $190 million while everyone else was losing their shirts yesterday? If you don't know, there was one of the biggest crashes we've ever seen in crypto. And someone came in 24 hours before and started placing shorts against the market. Short is just when you bet that the underlying asset is going to go down in price and you will make money on that. Now, this all started October 9th. At 1639 GMT time, they start accumulating this Bitcoin short. They initially put, and this is not chump change, guys. This isn't under your couch, pennies. This is $80 million that initially gets deposited, and they start placing.
Just a weird coincidence is someone with that kind of liquidity, $80 million, just happens to short Bitcoin, just coincidentally a day before Trump crashes the Bitcoin market.
Shorts against Bitcoin, okay? That's fine. Now, the amount is unusual, but that itself is not the unusual part. Then we have Ethereum. Starts to get shorted at 349 GMT. Interesting. $30 million gets deposited into this account. Immediately start placing major...
I feel like there's not many people in the United States that have access to tens of millions of dollars to be throwing around on crypto exchanges. This has to be some high-ranking official in the Trump admin or someone in the Trump family. Like, this can't even be just some random... Maybe I'm just broke. Anyone here got tens of millions of dollars to be throwing around on fucking crypto?
Bets that the market is going to go down. Why is this significant? Well, because at 14:57, this is only a few hours later, like 12 hours later, Trump posts on Truth Social that they are calculating a massive increase on Chinese tariffs. This is due to a rare earth mineral dispute. But the point is, nobody knew this was coming, except, of course, maybe this guy, because he's already got these multi-million-dollar shorts. Now, where I think this goes from suspicious to downright diabolical is the fact that at this point, the market dips a little bit, because you have these threats of tariffs. But the person does not start closing out their shorts yet, which I think is very interesting. If you place this huge short bet and then the president tweets something like this, you would think you would close out your order. But not only do they not do that, not only do they not close out their short, they continue to place short bets against Bitcoin. In fact, this person continues to short Bitcoin all the way up till 2049, 23 GMT. Why is that significant, ladies and gentlemen? It's because 2049 is the last short he places, okay? 2050 GMT. A minute later, 1 minute later, Trump announces they're considering an 100% tariff on...
They don't even try to hide it. That's why it's so insulting. It's like, if these people were masterminds who were like doing all this stuff under the table, screen frozen, shit. This is annoying. I don't know why the screen... How long has it been frozen? Display capture settings.
China, which of course tanks the market, and this person makes...
Compare this to the Hunter Biden accusation, bro. It's like that they have to connect so many more dots, and even then it's like, okay, I guess maybe this was like influence peddling. Like, I'm sure if someone has the last name Biden or Clinton or Trump or Obama, that person can probably get hired anywhere and get into any college they want. That's probably just how it is. I don't necessarily like that. I want to get all money out of politics, but that's not really the same thing as them outright insider trading with tens of millions of dollars. Not the same thing. So whenever someone gives you this bullshit thing of like, oh yeah, both parties are corrupt, who cares about Trump's corruption? No. This kind of corruption is unprecedented. There's nothing like this from Democrats. Nothing.
MT. A minute later, 1 minute later, Trump announces they're considering an 100% tariff on China, which of course tanks the market. And this person makes literally $190 million in 24 hours. Meaning the guy was placing shorts up to 1 minute before Trump announces this big, huge 100% tariffs. And then, by the way, immediately, as if he knew something, we start seeing the shorts close only 30 minutes later. So both the ETH and Bitcoin short closed 30 minutes later. By the way, these accounts were funded by the same people. This is the same person making these trades.
Oh yeah, and by the way, this same crypto wallet that bet all this money on what Trump was going to tweet right before he tweeted it, that same crypto wallet is the crypto wallet that was betting on Kalshi that Trump was going to pardon CZ, the CEO from the video we just watched. So this is someone who is maybe the luckiest person ever. Couldn't possibly be a conspiracy. It's just a very lucky person who predicted that Trump would crash the crypto market and also predicted that Trump would pardon CZ before the end of 2025. Crazy coincidence, right? Who's the guy we are watching? Voidzilla. He's not even a political guy. He just covers like scams, like financial scams, crypto rug pulls, stuff along those lines. Not really a political guy, just very methodical at exposing financial crimes where wealthy people take advantage of non-wealthy people. It is CoffeeZilla. Holy shit. Did the fight start? Does anyone know what time is Anderson Silva versus Tyron Woodley? Hold on. Does anyone know what fight? Is anyone watching the fight right now on Netflix? Which fight is happening? Aren't you sick of lying? Aren't you sick of being a coward? Because you're not in my guest requests. 8 p.m. My son is watching it. Still first fight. Okay, I'm just checking live up. I just don't want to miss Silva versus Woodley. That's a banger. Okay, yeah, we're fine. Biden is on the... Guess what, Tanner? If Obama is in the Epstein files, guess what? They should face consequences. I don't blindly support these people. I'm not in a fucking cult. I know that might be hard for some people in MAGA to understand. I actually would like to know. I would actively like to know if Bill Clinton did something wrong. It's not just that I'd be okay with it if it came out. I actively would like to know the answer to that question. Here's the difference. I hold Donald Trump to the same standard as all other politicians. And he is way worse than all other politicians. Therefore, I'm way more critical of Donald Trump. It's not because I'm biased against him. It's because he's fucking unhinged. And he's a criminal and an authoritarian. And he hates America. And he's destroying America. So yeah. I think that might be it for tonight. This was a good live. This was fun. We got one debate out, which is a banger debate for YouTube. Clip that up for YouTube. For a solid amount of time, we had like 500 people watching, which is fucking crazy. And even our floor seems to be above 200, so that's awesome. If you guys enjoyed the live today and you're not already following me, make sure you are following me up above, double tapping the live, subscribing on YouTube. And real quick, the files are heavily redacted. Here's the thing, okay? They can't hide the files forever. There are so many copies of the Epstein files. I want to be clear. However much they try to redact stuff right now, or hide it, or change something, they can do that for the time being, but then all of the whistleblowers that have been standing by peacefully and patriotically, standing back and standing by, all of those whistleblowers who were like, okay, I'm going to let the legal process play out. Hopefully, we can just properly get these files released. When they say, wait a second, I've read this paper. Why'd they redact this? Wait a second. I've seen these videos. Why didn't they release these videos or these pictures? Once the whistleblowers that work in the FBI, the CIA, the NSA, again, there's multiple different government laptops and hard drives and computers. There's multiple copies of all the Epstein files. If they hide something, they are begging for it to be leaked and released. They're begging for it. It will come out eventually. It will see the light of day. They cannot hide this. They can buy time, but they cannot hide it. It will come out eventually. I guarantee you it will. And Republicans know that, which is why they're jumping ship. They're terrified. I want to pull up this article. It was like, I'm going to close with this. I always go back to this article. DOJ admits to Republicans that Epstein files are even worse for Trump. Okay. The Trump administration has failed at every turn to mitigate anxieties about the president's longtime friendship with the child sex criminal. The typically bombastic Attorney General Pam Bondi was silent when asked about photos. Oh wait, which photos? I want to go up a little bit. Okay. Michael Wolff, a longtime chronicler of Trump's White House, who conducted extensive interviews with Epstein prior to his death, told the Daily Beast last month Epstein had shown him photos of Trump with half-naked young girls in his lap. Oh. The disturbing new rumor has dredged up far more support, with more than 100 Republicans planning to vote alongside Democrats. This is before the discharge petition, okay? The Trump administration has failed at every turn to mitigate anxieties about the president's longtime friendship with the child sex criminal. The typically bombastic Attorney General Pam Bondi was silent when asked about the photos during a Senate hearing last month, a choice that further spooked several GOP lawmakers, with many interpreting her non-response as a very vocal yes. So anytime someone tells you, why do you believe these allegations from Michael Wolff that there are pictures of Trump doing bad things? I don't know, maybe because House Republicans also believe them. Maybe that's why. Thank you for the Panther pause, Blackberry. So they know what they're hiding. The question is, did the FBI, and again, this is asked directly to Pam Bondi, and maybe I'm crazy, if I was the Attorney General and I knew for a fact that there weren't pictures of Trump with minors, I'd probably want to clarify that. I probably wouldn't want to leave any ambiguity there, right? The question is, did the FBI find those photographs that have been discussed publicly by a witness who claimed that Jeffrey Epstein showed them to him? Asked Democratic Senator Sheldon Whitehouse. Bondi could only blink with her mouth agape. I'm asking every MAGA... Someone in MAGA explain to me what would be the reasoning, the utility, the logic behind not just saying no and suggesting that it's crazy. You're under oath. Whole world's watching. Someone just asked you, hey, are there pictures of Trump with little girls not wearing clothes? Is that a thing? And you don't answer the question? And I don't understand how this isn't... There's so many impeachment-worthy scandals, dude. We've only covered 2, and there are dozens. MAGA here. She's trolling, y'all. Yeah, what isn't it such a fun subject to troll about, like innocent children being trafficked by powerful men? You like trolling about that, Aaron? It's haha funny? Like how Rob Reiner being murdered was haha funny? That's just all a joke to you? We're just trolling? These people are like, did you guys see how owned the libs were when we destroyed the United States? Did you guys see how triggered the Democrats were when we burned the Constitution? Oh my God, bro, they were so triggered. Bro, did you see how upset the libs were, the radical left lunatics, when we covered up for the child sex trafficker? Oh my God, they just got owned. Are you 12? You're willing to sacrifice our country to own the libs? You know Trump thinks you're a fucking idiot, right? Newsflash to all the MAGA voters who thought it was super haha epic and funny when Trump used a certain word for Tim Walz. I hope you know that behind the scenes, Trump uses that same word to describe you who vote for him. Just so you know. Everyone was like, oh, did you guys see how epic it was when the president of the United States called the sitting governor the R word? Wasn't that such an awesome example for the most powerful man on earth to set for the country? To act like a middle schooler? Wasn't that lit and epic and based? You like that word? Really? It's probably what he uses for you. Behind the scenes. Probably what he uses for you. I don't know if anyone remembers this, when Trump said, I could stand on Fifth Avenue and shoot someone and I wouldn't lose any support. He knows. He knows. He knows, yeah, if I can shoot someone and get away with it, I could probably attempt a coup, do authoritarian stuff, political persecutions, war crimes, domestic crimes, personal corruption, financial corruption, legal corruption. They'll forgive me. He knows. He literally stood in front of an audience of people that support him and said, I could do anything, and you dumb fucks would still support me, wouldn't you? And they were like, yeah, hell yeah, we would. Okay. Okay. Cool. Have fun, guys. Have fun. Don't start crying when the ship fully sinks and you're like, please throw us a life raft. No, dude. We told you before the ship set out to sail that we probably shouldn't even get on the fucking ship. Okay? But you tied us along. You won your election. You voted for him. Now the entire country has to be on this sinking ship. The people that get the life rafts are the ones who warned the ship was going to sink. If you're one of the idiots who is saying this ship is taking us to a giant pot of gold, okay, maybe you'll find it at the bottom of the ocean. Bye-bye. You don't get to fucking lead the country off a cliff and then ask for help as you're falling because everyone else had the fucking wherewithal and foresight to grab onto the edge because they knew what was happening. None of this is surprising. He said this at every rally ever in the campaign season. I don't know why anyone's acting surprised. And when I said earlier, I don't hate everyone that voted for Trump, that doesn't mean I don't hold them responsible. If you were too busy with your day-to-day life and you couldn't read the fucking Jack Smith indictments and all this stuff, that's fine, but you still did vote for Trump. You still did ignore all the people saying threat to democracy, fascist, authoritarian, criminal. For whatever reason you ignored it, you did ignore it. Fine, maybe you didn't know any better. Okay. But you still have to be held responsible for that, actually. Peacefully and I'm not saying, like, attack these people, right? But, like, play stupid games, win stupid prizes. That's just what it is. Forehead snatcher in the guest requests. Did you want to do a debate? I guess we can do a really quick debate before I hop off if you want to debate. Okay. Hey, how old are you?
25 years old.
And do you disagree with any of the prompts on the screen above me?
Yeah, I disagree with the last one. Trump is authoritarian. He's not an authoritarian. He's using the law and he's doing what he needs to do. I mean, an authoritarian to me is someone who cancels elections, someone who steals elections, stuff like that. He hasn't done any of that.
Well, he
won an election fair and
attempted a
square.
coup in 2020, and he's arresting people
he
right now
didn't.
for expressing their free speech rights. He's denying people their constitutional rights of due process and free speech.
No, he didn't. You know what coups are like? Is where you don't know what coups are. You've never seen a coup in your life.
It was an
Coups
attempted coup. You can say,
No,
it wasn't, but it was an attempted coup.
It was a bunch of rowdy people, a bunch of
No,
idiots.
I'm not
that
talking
came
about the
into-
riot. The fake elector scheme to overturn the results of the election, that was an attempted self-coup.
No, it wasn't. It was just a guy who thought he won, even though he was mistaken.
No, Trump knows he lost.
He doesn't know that. He thinks he
No.
won.
Are you familiar that Trump was like indicted by Jack Smith for trying to overturn the results of the election?
I am aware of that.
You
yeah.
know that indictment contains evidence that Trump knew he lost the election, right? And that many people who worked for Trump said, yeah, he obviously knew he lost the election.
But he wanted to win so bad. He's
exactly.
a winner.
Yeah.
He's a winner.
I mean, I don't know how familiar you are with Trump as a person. Trump's entire life philosophy is it doesn't matter how bad you lose, you never admit defeat. That's like his whole thing, right?
Exactly.
So he tried to do a coup, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I mean,
Yeah.
so we know we know that he just wants to win. This guy's he's not even smart enough to do a coup.
This
Okay?
time he is.
So,
Last time he tried and he wasn't, but he's made all the right changes so it works this time, right?
he can't. This
Wait,
time he can't.
why was Trump's attempted coup last time unsuccessful? Do you know?
Well, because Mike Pence said no. Mike Pence didn't sign the thing.
And also his attorney general said no, right? So like a lot of those people said no. Would J.D. Vance say no? He said he wouldn't say no. Would
Well,
Pam
he can't
Bondi
do
say no?
anything now.
She said she
He
wouldn't say
had
no.
two- Well, he can't do anything now because he had 2 terms. And
So
only
he could
allowed 2
interfere on
terms.
behalf of J.D. Vance or the Republicans. Why wouldn't he do that?
He's not going to do that.
He
This
said
is
he would, though.
hyperbole. That he's going to come in for J.D.
He
Vance?
said we're making the preparations so that what happened in 2020 can never happen again.
Yeah, he's talking about like gerrymandering and stuff like that. He's
No,
not
he loves
talking about-
gerrymandering.
Listen,
He's
if-
been
if-
asking every red state to gerrymander because he wants to try to rig the election.
That's not rigging though. Gerrymandering isn't rigging. It's legal. States can do
It's
that.
legal, but it's still rigging.
Okay, but it's legal at the end
There's
of the day.
also illegal rigging that he wants to do. If you want to talk about that, I don't know if you read the executive order draft to send the military to polling places. You okay with that as well?
But the military isn't going to do that. That's the thing. The military is civilian controlled.
Wouldn't it be great if like a bunch of Democrats made a video saying, "Hey, if you're in the military, you can refuse illegal orders," just so they know that they don't have to follow orders like that, right?
Say that again?
You're saying, "Oh, the military doesn't have to follow illegal orders." Basically, what you're saying to me, right?
No. What I'm saying is the military is not going to do that, right? The military is,
Why
is a
not?
civilian controlled. Well, for 2 reasons.
National
Number
Guard.
one, the
National Guard.
No.
To be clear.
It's 2 reasons, though. Number one, the military is civilian controlled. And number 2, there are many, many spies and CIA operatives within the military that are unknown that will
Okay.
come in and stop him if he
I'm
tries to
talking
do
about the
something like that.
National Guard.
They're also in there.
You understand that Trump has spent the last 10 months trying to federalize the National Guard for any and every reason he can come up with?
And the Supreme Court said he can go into these places.
No, he lost those cases.
No, they told him you can go into Portland.
No,
They told him you
no,
can-
he lost. The Portland case was bullshit. The Trump-appointed judge, Karen Immergut, said this is a bullshit case.
But he got out though, right?
Are you aware what Trump even alleged in that case?
In what? In the Portland case?
Yeah. He said that there was a rebellion happening that was so extreme that local law enforcement was not enough to address it. And one of the examples he gave of this...
Well, he's
this-
correct though. I mean,
No.
Antifa practically controls
One
Oregon.
of the examples
The
he
communists-
gave, one of the examples he gave of like, this is how bad it's gotten, this is why we need National Guard, was that someone shined a flashlight in someone else's eye. That's one of the examples a Trump admin gave in that court case. It's one of the
Well, he's
strongest
wrong
examples
there.
they have is a fucking flashlight being shined in someone's face, really?
He's wrong. I don't agree with that. I don't agree with that.
And the
at all.
judge, by the way, who was appointed by Donald Trump in his first term, said, listen, I understand that when there's actually an insurrection, the president needs the National Guard, but this seems like a handful of isolated incidents that don't really pose any real systemic threat, and you're trying to use that as a pretext to bring in the troops? Seems pretty authoritarian, right? To try to
No.
use armed forces to do civilian law enforcement when that's like direct violation of the Posse Comitatus Act?
But once the courts told him no, he said he got out.
Once the courts told him no, Stephen Miller called that judge a domestic terrorist.
Well, people can say what this is just the rhetoric. People can say whatever they
This
want.
is
We're
just
talking about
rhetoric
what-
for the
Yes,
executive
it is.
branch, for the executive branch to label the co-equal judicial branch as a terrorist because they gave
Yes,
a ruling they didn't like.
Yes, it's just rhetoric. He can't do anything about it.
These people have no responsibility in how they speak, being like the chief executives of the country. They can just say whatever the fuck.
I don't think anyone has a responsibility in what they say. They have the First Amendment. They can say whatever they want.
Hold on. The First Amendment means you're allowed to say what you want, but as human beings who try to do the right thing, especially if you're in a position of power, like, I don't know, the presidency, shouldn't you have a responsibility in how you conduct yourself?
Happens in
It's
reality.
not just rhetoric. It's dangerous. We have 3 co-equal branches of government for a reason, and this administration has spent the last 10 months trying to delegitimize the other 2 branches of government, defying court orders, misappropriating congressional funds. And he left. Is anyone surprised? He left. Like, everyone learned the fucking Schoolhouse Rock, okay? There's 3 branches of government. They have to all keep each other in check. Can someone explain to me, did I miss the Schoolhouse Rock episode? Holy shit. What did I just witness? What was that? Is there something in my water? Okay. Thank you for Itch Share for the cheeky wiggly. I don't really understand what any of these TikTok gifts are. Thank you so much for the cheeky wiggly. SpongeBob needs to hit his glutes because that was embarrassing for him. But I lost my train of thought, bro. Republicans defunded public education for decades, and now we're all paying for it. Yeah. And they tried to defund it more under Trump, right? They tried to fucking dismantle the entire Department of Education. I think it was Patrick. It was Patrick and SpongeBob. Patrick kind of cooked him there, though. Fuck. I lost my train of thought, bro. I was going to say something before I ended the live. Anyone here remember? Fight predictions? Anthony Joshua by, like, homicide. Like, I don't know why Jake Paul is fighting Anthony Joshua. I genuinely do not understand why he would do this. It's actually, he could get, like, life-changing damage from this. Like, actual, I can never box again, my motor skills are messed with, my brain functioning is like, this is, I don't know why he's doing this. We're about to witness maybe, like, actual war crimes in that fight, dude. No, I don't remember your thoughts, liberal. It's the Netflix fight? Yeah. Yeah, it is. Fuck, I feel like I was gonna say something I was gonna be cooking, but I forgot. Do you see the Mitt Romney article? No. Yes, the U.S. taking a Venezuelan oil tanker was wrong, and all these strikes on these Venezuelan boats is wrong. Even if I take their premise for granted, which I don't, even if we accept for a moment, which I don't fully accept, but even if we accept that these boats are full of people that are bringing DRUGS to America, right? Let's just say that's true. I'm no law enforcement expert, but if I was in charge of law enforcement, I would say, hey, let's seize the boats, investigate their phones. We can search their phones, find their contacts. We can interrogate them. Who is your supplier? Who are your buyers? What routes do you take? What substances do you sell? Do you sell anything else? Where do you get your funding from? Who gives you protection? We're going to take your phone. We're going to do a fucking forensic search on this. If you want to tell us something, maybe we give you a plea deal. That's how you stop crime. You don't just blow up the suspect and all the evidence and then say, yeah, we're tough, strong. Yeah. What is this? It's like a toddler's conception of law enforcement. And it's all performative law enforcement. They just want videos of people in handcuffs and, like, things on fire. Yeah, those Latinos, we sure blew them up, didn't we? Effectively, what DHS does on Twitter is says, those dirty brown people on that boat, they were bringing drugs. We got rid of them. We blew them up. That's effectively what they're doing. That's how they see it. It's barbaric. A lot of these people that support Trump are the same types of people to say, people coming in from other countries, these people are really savages. They're really destroying Western civilization. They're savage. I agree that there are savages destroying Western civilization. They're all in MAGA. And Bonnie, I don't know what your question was. You can ask me again. The savages destroying Western civilization are the Trump administration. The un-American people who need to be shipped off to a foreign slave labor camp, that's the Trump administration. The radical lunatics and thugs who support terrorism and trafficking, that's the Trump administration. Silva Woodley, I gotta go, guys. If it's actually time for Silva Woodley. Everyone have a great night. And how do I end this? Let me just check real quick. Trump versus Joshua live updates. Walking out? It's okay. Everyone have a fantastic night. Thank you for tuning in. This was a very fun live. Like, subscribe on YouTube, double tap and follow on TikTok and all the stuff. Go to my link tree and give me all your money.